morning, everybody. Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, the old Seattle Sports app, and, of course, 97.3 HD2 and YouTube. We've got the new lights in effect again today. So if you are hanging out with us, watching on YouTube, welcome. And I hope we look great. I hope we look spectacular. Charles is in the building again this morning, filling in for Lyle one more time. Good morning, Charles. Lyle, I think, is going to be back Thursday. Is that our hope more? It's not tomorrow, right? He's flying back
tomorrow, but he won't be here.
Right. Okay. He flies back tomorrow, and then we'll get him on Thursday. As he is at the winter meetings.
Brock. I feel like Brock keeps very close tabs on Lyle.
Very close.
Like he's been a little stalkery.
Been calling him nonstop and trying to make sure that, he's
every time Lyle posts a video, Brock sends it to us like within 5 seconds.
To be fair, the video he sent yesterday, I thought the question he asked was pretty reasonable. If you're watching any of Lyle and TJ's videos from Orlando in the winter meetings, you may notice that they're holding big mics like the one I'm holding here. They're like holding them up because I think they forgot their mic stands or something. I don't know what's going on, but that anyway is, yes, Brock is stalking Lyle, who will be back. And I wanted to start the show with a quick shout out to Charles. There are very few people that I know, very few, Maura. And I apologize that you're not on the list, but you and I see each other every morning at our worst, right? Maura and I have this relationship where every morning we get in here, first two people in, and we look at each other with thinly veiled disgust because neither of us wants to be awake and we're not happy to be in here. And we just sort of like, let's get through the beginning.
Even Justin was kind of like that. And he's one of the most outgoing, cheery people I know.
But you and I, we take some time to get into our rhythm every morning. And by the time we hit the air at 6 o'clock, we're up, we're ready, and we're able to have our normal feelings and thoughts and conversations. I got in here this morning, as I tend to, at 10 past 5, quarter past 5, something like that. And I walk into the studio, and same as last week, Charles is here, ready to go, greets me with a huge smile, a huge handshake and high five, and just absolute optimism about the day and excitement. And even, Charles, I hope you'll be okay, I call it exuberance. There was legitimate exuberance about the show today. So thank you for putting a smile on my face early this morning. You're appreciated today.
Well, Salk, I got to tell you, whenever I walk in here, it's always a great day here.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it's going to be a fantastic one. Jeff Passan is going to join us at 7:30, barring anything crazy going on at the winter meetings, and we're also going to have Daniel Jeremiah today at 8:30. So yeah, that's today. I've been trying, your positivity, Charles, has me wanting to really go positive to start the show this morning. And I got two things that unfortunately don't quite fall into that category. One is confusion. The other is a bit negative. The negative one, I'm not going to spend too much time on. And I probably wouldn't have even gone here if I didn't come in and look at the text machine and see the last two texts from last night are both about the Kraken and just some really frustrated fans. And I don't blame you. Last night was kind of had a final straw feel to me. Like Jake from Leavenworth saying time to retire the alternate jersey, just like all the other ones. Outside the Winter Classic game, I'm pretty sure we haven't one wearing an alternate jersey yet. The Kraken are sinking back into the abyss. Sigh. Yeah, I think that last line I would agree with the most. And 360 saying, for Salk, will Seattle ever become a hockey city? Absolutely brutal watching the Kraken give up the best start in franchise history with 5 losses in a row. Where's the outcry? If we're going to stink, can't we at least boycott some games to lower the cost of tickets to better match the quality of play? That's not the way the game works, sorry. But they actually did go down this past off season. Unfortunately, the level of play... without a star, without somebody to threaten the other team, it's really hard to consistently score. Really hard to consistently score. Now you're putting all the pressure on your defense, all the pressure on a good bounce every night, and it's just really challenging to get out of a funk, as somebody texted in here, when you're in one. So yeah, I wish I had better news for you there. Will Seattle ever become a hockey city? I don't know. I mean, I live in kind of a hockey bubble where I'm around people almost every day that are into it and talking about it. And for those people, doesn't really matter whether it's a hockey city or not. We're in a hockey bubble.
I'm sure, Salk, that the Kraken is just a relatively new team, and they're just settling in.
Well, there is that, but at some point, you're almost 5 years in now. Like, you got to start winning at some point, and really hard to do when your draft picks that you've had in the top 5 just aren't players that really truly threaten the defense. So I don't want to spend too much time there. This other thing kind of got me yesterday, Maura, and you sent me the text, and it sort of jumped out to me. So we know, I don't know if this is good news or not. I don't know how you want to spin all this, but Seahawks are going to play Indy on Sunday, right? 125 game. And they, a few weeks ago, this looked like a Clash of the Titans kind of a game, right? Both teams were flying high, and the Seahawks still are. I'll get to where they're at in the ESPN power rankings, but it's an impressive number, a very low number, which is good. And Indy's going the other way. They've lost 3 in a row, and then they lose Daniel Jones, obviously. And I didn't even realize Riley Leonard is also hurt. It looks like he's probably going to play, but he's got a PCL tear.
Yeah.
Grade 1, so it's not like the worst thing in the world, and PCL is not as bad as some of the other knee injuries you can have, but still, you put all that together, they're obviously in quarterback, quarterback hell. Like, I don't know how else to say
the
it.
word that came to my mind, yeah.
Yeah. What's the area before hell? Purgatory. Maybe they're in quarterback purgatory. I don't know.
Familiar growing up in Catholic school.
Yeah. I figured, I knew you would know the answer to that one more. Anyway. So they're going to bring in Phillip Rivers. Okay, fine. He's 44 years old, and Phillip Rivers is not an NFL quarterback anymore. But I don't know whether he's actually there to play or just to help out. It sounds like he also does some work with Leonard in the offseason, leading into the draft. And look, he's a smart guy. He's been around the game forever. There's no downside to bringing him into your practice squad, into your building. But in that tweet that you sent over, I think it was from our friend Ian Rappaport, It talked about him being a potential Hall of Famer, and I saw some other tweets this morning.
He's a finalist.
I know. So this stopped me in my tracks. I saw other tweets this morning saying that if he were to play, actually even just join the active roster, not the practice squad, but active roster, that would reset his clock.
Another 5 years.
Yeah, and I guess I just started thinking, wait. Phillip Rivers, a Hall of Famer? We've been talking about the Hall of Fame forever, and I'm not. This is not generally something I get too worked up over. But my criteria for the Hall of Fame in any sport, I hardly ever look at numbers. I'm willing to, but numbers are generally not the most important thing to me. When it comes to the Hall of Fame, I always go by the simple criteria of, were you one of the dominant players of your generation at your position? That's it. And the quarterback position, obviously being as important as it is, we tend to know who the very best are. And I guess I look at his era, and it's hard because, they're sort of, it crosses over a few other different quarterbacks. Who were the best quarterbacks, the top quarterbacks, the Hall of Famers of Phillip Rivers' era? Brady, Manning, and Breeze, right? Brady, Manning, and Breeze. They were the top 3 guys for almost the entirety of his career. Brady, Manning, Breeze. Those were the guys that were, they're Hall of Famers, no doubt about it. Who's in the next group? Well, it sort of depends on which part of Phillip Rivers played a long time, so which part of the era you look at. But for me, I would have Aaron Rodgers, as much as it pains me to say it, Ben Roethlisberger, as much as it pains me to say it, and Kurt Warner all ahead. Now, maybe Warner you want to say is a little bit before, but not that far before. Kurt Warner played a long time. I would have those 6 guys all ahead of him. And then to me, it would come down to really Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning, 2 guys that I would leave out of the Hall of Fame. I would give you the top 6 of that generation and say Brady, Manning, Breeze, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, Warner, and Manning and Rivers, Eli Manning and Rivers would be out. Am I crazy?
But I don't have a problem with him being a semifinalist.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's probably not going to make the cut this year.
I see what you mean.
Just because he's a nominated doesn't mean he's going in. He played. He had, I think, 9 4,000-yard seasons. Played for 14 years.
I guess you're using what you're making me realize is that when I read the word potential or probable or whatever it was, potential Hall of Famer, to me, it was like out of nowhere. I didn't realize he was a finalist. So that automatically makes him potential.
There's 26
I
people.
get it.
I have a feeling he's going to get weeded out.
I would hope so. Well,
Yeah.
I just would like to stand here today and say I hope he gets weeded out. That is not. He's not a Hall of Famer. Come on.
He was really good for a really long time, but could never really break through. He always got beat in the playoffs.
Never made a Super Bowl. That's a Hall of really good. Absolutely. He and Eli, Hall of really good. If they could combine their careers and give Eli's playoffs to Phillip Rivers' regular season, you got a Hall of Famer for sure. But separately, I don't know. I would leave those guys out. I don't see them as being the dominant players of their generation. All right, let me take a quick break. We're obviously going to talk a ton of Seahawks today as they are riding high. You want to know where they are in the playoff in the power rankings, Maura? I got that info and more for you next.
Looking for a gap. He's got one. He's off to the races. Look out. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Make it back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Seahawks, but they're just getting started.
We building a brotherhood. That's what it's about.
It's the Seahawks' quest to win the NFC West.
Honestly, we got a lot of special dudes on this team.
Placement, and it's blocked.
Yes. Guess who?
It's Eamon Warren. Yeah, guess who?
And it's only on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
When my windshield cracked, I called All-Star Auto Glass. All-Star's money stays in the Northwest. SafeLight sends money to shareholders in Europe. All-Star supports the local economy. If this happens to you, call All-Star Auto Glass.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you?
I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Good Dog Auto Glass.
When the stakes are high, you want the best on your team. When your windshield breaks, don't settle for your insurance company's fix that's just safe enough. Trust Good Dog Auto Glass, where the quality isn't light. We do all the things the little guys don't, and we do all the things the big guy does.
We answer the phone when you call, we work for you, and we will walk you through the insurance process. Visit GoodDogAutoGlass.com, Puget Sound's most trusted auto glass company, and get more bang for your buck.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite colored gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, a full sports book and bar, over 1,000 top-rated slots and table games, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, health and depth, just about as important as any other factor this time of year in the NFL. The Seahawks have both. It was interesting hearing Andrew Whitworth talk about that.
The parity of the year of this season is higher than ever, and it's really, truly, to me, the hottest teams have a chance to win a Super Bowl when we get to the end of this season, we get to the playoffs. Who can get hot at the right time and who's healthy, they got just as much a shot as anybody.
Well, and I would say the Seahawks are in both categories. Certainly the health category today. It'll be tested a little. Elijah Arroyo is going to miss a little bit of time at tight end. Nicky Manwari seems fine.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since he went back in the game, so I'm assuming that he's okay. So I haven't heard anything.
All right, but they also may have possible returns to balance some of that out. Eric Saubert could be returning soon. Jalen Sundell.
Yeah, Jalen should be back this week. Yeah.
I'll ask you again: is he going to practice at Garter Center?
We'll see.
We'll see. Derek Young also available to return potentially as well. All right, Seahawks up to number 3. Number 3 in the ESPN Power Rankings, just behind the Rams and Patriots, who have the top 2 spots. Maura, care to guess where they started the year? Do you remember?
I want to say it was around 18th.
Very close, 17. And after their Week 1 loss to San Francisco, they dropped to number 20. So all the way up now to number 3. How desperate are the Colts? Pretty desperate.
My understanding is he's basically in Indianapolis right now or about to land. He's going to work out. We'll see how he does. There's no downside for the Colts. They need an answer at quarterback. Riley Leonard also is a little banged up from a knee injury. So, yes, Phillip Rivers. Dadgummit. It's going to work out for the Colts.
That is the strangest darn thing, and it sounds like they may sign him to their practice squad today. He's 44 years old and hasn't played in, I think, 25, 30 years. So we'll see whether or not Phillip Rivers.
2021 wild card game.
That's amazing. It really is. I mean, that is a long time, and he is an old man to be playing in the NFL once again.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Pretty quiet start to the winter meetings, whether that means teams are talking before pulling the trigger, or maybe everyone just wants to hang on to their guys and isn't really interested in moving the market. I don't know. Regardless, the Mariners do have work to do, and as of yet, no real market to do it. I did like the quotes from Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander yesterday. I read them in the Times. Adam Jude They declared Jose Ferrer their top bullpen target for the offseason. They explained he's someone that they had coveted for years, which, sort of puts him in that Luis Castillo camp, and said they still hope to add more veteran experience to the pen. So I liked all of that. I think the question everybody is wondering, though, is, all right, is there something bigger coming, right? Well, I don't know. We read a report from, Jesse Rogers saying that Jorge Polanco is supposed to sign or likely to sign somewhere during the course of the winter meeting. So that's really by the end of the day tomorrow. My gut has constantly said I don't think it's going to be here, but that's just a gut feeling. I don't have any information on that other than I think he's looking for a lot of money. And I think that if I'm the Mariners, I don't know how deep down that road or how far down that road I'm willing to go, given some of the injury concerns and where the defense is. I don't know. It makes me very nervous. Could they be in, though, on a big name like Ketel Marte or Brendan Donovan? Yeah, I think both make some sense. Brandon Lau, a fit, but maybe the defense is going to be similar to what you would get with Polanco. I like this. Mike Hazen, Diamondbacks GM, explaining what they might need if they were to make a deal.
I think we have some guys, guys that are getting ready to break onto the team, whether or not we do that in spring training. We all know how many starting pitches we need during the course of a year. So just relying on that as our main thrust isn't what we're going to do. We're going to try to add as much pitching externally as we can.
All right, well, the Mariners do have external pitching for them if that's truly what they want. And I don't know, a swap for Ketel Marte would obviously be very intriguing.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Not a good night for Jalen Hurts. 4 picks, including one in overtime in the red zone as Philly falls to the Chargers. Nick Sirianni commented on that.
They made a really good play. They did a good job of matching it. Corner did a really good job of getting his hand on it, and Jefferson did a good job finishing it. So hats off to them. Made a good play right there. Obviously, you think back at it, and then I think to myself, how do I do better with that? Kevin and I are going to be very critical of ourselves. I know Jalen will be critical of himself as well. But hats off to them. That was a pretty good play they made.
Yikes. NFC really separating into what looks like a 5, maybe 6 team race. 3 in the West, obviously, and then 2 or 3 in the North. Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay. I don't know how many of those 3 teams you're willing to put in there, but that's kind of what this looks like right now. Kraken lose 2-1, failing to generate really any offense at all at home against Minnesota. Here's Lane Lambert.
I thought we started the game slowly, which, when you've lost 4 in a row and then, haven't won a game in 5, that's disappointing to me. I thought our goaltender was outstanding tonight. Gave us a chance to win. I would agree with his assessment that we need more from everybody. We have to have everybody playing well, and we just can't afford to have any passengers. And I didn't think everyone brought their best tonight.
Well, that's just too many times that we've heard him say something like it, and this team they're not talented enough to not bring their best, and against a good team like Minnesota, I think you see the results. That is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk show.
Can I add one more thing?
Please do.
Just an apology for my fantasy football segment the other day, too. Hopefully this person didn't listen to me, but the person that was debating between Jacoby Brissett and Jalen Hurts. I think I just had in my head what the Rams did to Sam Darnold, and I couldn't say in confidence to start Jacoby Brissett against that Rams defense, but he's done pretty well, and he did okay on Sunday. And Jalen Hurts, I've never even seen a quarterback put up -1 fantasy points before, I don't think, and that's what he did. So
that's not his best. Not his best effort.
Apologetic if you did take that advice.
Well, thank you, Maura.
I thought the Eagles maybe had some fight in them still. We're going to do something.
I think everybody appreciates the holding yourself accountable, the accountability. So, all right, Mike Macdonald coming up next. A little philosophical, probably the most philosophical conversation we've had with Mike yet. I enjoyed it. I think you guys will as well. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join the stations of Bonneville, Seattle, and Treehouse for the 37th year of Holiday Magic, helping provide holiday gifts and year-long support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide. Wednesday, December 10th. Over the 37 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
All right, Mike Salk here, and more. I appreciate the accountability. I should offer some as well. It was actually 4-1 yesterday in the hockey score. I forgot about the empty netters, which I did watch, but then I maybe blocked out of my mind. And when those days are happening and your team is losing, it's easier for me to start thinking about the future. Certainly on days like yesterday where the rain is pouring down. I mean, like torrential pouring rain. I'm like, man, I can't wait to retire and just move somewhere warm. Well, in order to do that one day, you got to start planning ahead well in advance. It's why I talked to Trajan Wealth Management. They do a great job of really asking a lot of questions, trying to understand your individual needs. They did for me. I was able to walk through with them all the things going on in my life, what I hoped it would look like one day, and then they can help you with the wealth accumulation and management portion of things, and eventually helping you actually with the disbursement side, which is, taking the money that you've saved all that time and using it in retirement. Schedule a complimentary call. It's just a little introductory meeting. Let them learn a little bit more about you while you learn about them. You can call them at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300, or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Mariners tickets for 2026 are on sale now.
Number 60! A catcher has hit 60 home runs!
Cal Raleigh and your AL West champs will be back in action before you know it. And now's a great time to lock in your seats for the biggest games. We'll be celebrating our 50th season all year long, from opening day on March 26th to epic events like Randy Johnson's number retirement. Plus, don't miss marquee matchups against the Yankees, Phillies, and more. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's here, the Light the World giving machines at the Alderwood and South Hill malls. With a swipe of your credit card, donate a chicken, school supplies, meals, and more. Go to givingmachinewa.org.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and if you have joint pain, this will be of interest to you. Wednesday, December 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn more about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar, Wednesday, December 17th. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who never lies. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through December 21st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
This is the Mike Macdonald Show, presented by your local 76 and Conoco stations, exclusively on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
All right, let's jump right into this. Coach Macdonald got back, 9 o'clock last night or so. Tough flight back, but he's rested and ready. His team wins again. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you guys.
You all right over there?
Great.
Tough flight? What was it? Against the jet stream? Bumpy? What made it a tough flight?
No, you're just going west, into the wind.
Yeah. It's a pretty long flight back from Atlanta. That was a long way.
Yeah. No, it was great. No, it was a piece of cake. It's good. After a win, there's a lot you can go through.
Before we get into the whole game, I mean, the fans there? The Seahawks fans were incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Did I see Kirk Cousins with his hands over his ears just trying to hear over the Seahawks crowd noise in Atlanta? That's incredible.
Yeah, that was, like Tennessee, you're like, okay, like I could see, like I didn't know we were going to have that many fans, but Atlanta, I was like, I don't know, after the SEC champ, but we kind of had a heck of a showing there. It was pretty awesome. I had friends said that they were coming from Raleigh.
Okay.
And the flight from Raleigh had a full plane of Seahawks fans, 12s in there. It's unbelievable. So shout out.
Did you know when you took this job that would be a thing?
I didn't know we traveled the way we did. Yeah, I've just been amazed by how well our fans travel. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The SEC championship game was in that building just the night before, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could tell at the beginning of the game.
How so?
You put it together.
Yes.
All right.
Well, it was a lively affair. Just, I know there may have been some challenges on the plane watching the tape, but I'm sure you saw some of it this morning, Coach. Just what did the game film jump out to the casual fan? It looked like almost two different halves. Between a first half that was at 6-6 and a second half that was at 31-0. What jumped out on tape?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, it wasn't for like a lack of effort. I think our guys played really, really hard, and so that's like the first thing that pops to me on tape, which is non-negotiable. But it's also when it happens, you're proud of the effort, and so I think offensively we just got in rhythm in the second half and protected well and just played like better complementary football, even though we had a couple penalties there in the run game. And obviously, the kickoff return for a touchdown. I mean, that was just it's a beautiful thing to watch. Guys blocked their tails off, hit their guys. There's some tough blocks that were made, and then Sheed made a great run, which really sparked the second half. And defensively, we attacked the football, which is something that we've been emphasizing, and now it's we're starting to get some results for it, which is really great because we were putting some tough spots there in the red zone. The guys came up big.
You predicted the touchdown, I'm told.
Yeah, I'll let everybody else talk about that. I mean,
you predicted it.
Let's say I asked for it.
Okay. Well, just listening to Rashid talk about it after the game, he sort of made he said you predicted it, but what it really sounded like listening to him is that
you just really liked the return you guys had set up, and you thought there was a good chance it would work.
Well, it's no, we just, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was just in halftime, I just felt like we were due for a big return, and felt like we could get them blocked, and we did. So it was pretty cool.
Does that almost feel, I think Moose said afterwards, and as he was looking at the replays of it and kind of analyzing and diagnosing it from his seat, Coach Daryl Johnson just said, these kickoffs have almost turned into run plays.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just
right.
So is it a little surprising you don't see more of these breakout returns in that regard, or is it just so difficult to get the 9 or 8 or 5 or whatever kind of blocks you've got to get on that particular play?
Well, I don't know what the actual stats are saying about, the variance of returns and the yardages. I probably should know that, but I don't. But you're right. It is. They do very resemble the run plays, and how they're blocked are, they're kind of like the cousins of run plays that you actually run on offense, which is interesting in terms of like how you scheme it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like, one thing about this kickoff is there's not a lot of depth to the defense. So if you do, get into the second level, there's a lot of space, and so it's tough to get to the second level, second and third levels, and it's tough and sometimes it's tough to create overlap on defense or on the kickoff coverage units. So it's a really interesting play. It really is.
I heard you talking about process after the game and really focusing on process over results, and the results will kind of come from there. Where did that philosophy start for you? Like, where did you start to become a fan of process?
I don't know what the genesis is. If you just I think it's a good question. It's like when you're coming up and you're hearing people talk about why they don't like things or whatever. It's like, well, what do we do that went into this that we didn't like? We need to tackle better. Well, why? Just tackle. Well, how are we going to tackle? And so that's probably where the thought came from. Or you felt like sometimes when you're coming up, you felt like we made the right decision and we didn't get what we wanted, but you're like, well, why am I getting penalized? I felt like we actually did this right. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to do it that way. Just what are the things that you can control? And then if you're actually going to coach somebody, you have to coach the process. You can't say just go make the play. You have to. You got to tell them how to you got to show them how. You got to show them how to move. You got to show them what to look at. You got to train those moves. All those things that go into it have to come to life in order to get what you want. So I think it's just probably over time. And then it starts. And then okay, well, what kind of team do we want to have? On a day-to-day basis, and then that's probably where that. Everyone says process over results, but it's really your actions back that up. Your actions and your words back that up on a day-to-day basis.
It's interesting in football because football can be more of a results-oriented game. In baseball, you can talk process all day, right? As long, because you're going to strike out however many times. You're not going to get a hit so many times. You have to think about the process.
There's more observations, too,
right,
to back up the data.
Yeah, and it's a game of failure, so you want to at least focus on the process. Golf is probably the same way. Football, we tend, especially from the outside, to think so much about the results. So do you start to separate out mental and physical parts of the game? Are those two things related to the process idea?
I'm not sure. When you think about it's like baseball and golf, it's like, to me, there's a lot of data points there. Okay. So batting average, you're going to have X amount of at bats over the course, and then all those things are like feedback loops that you can stick to the process because the numbers are going to kind of iron themselves out over the course of the season. We don't really have that luxury. We get one really big feedback every week, but we have all these other data points throughout the week and throughout the off season of whether or not we're hitting those marks. So it would actually make sense to think that way. Is okay. Well, do we hit our daily marks? Do we hit our rep marks throughout a practice? and mentally are we in those things? And if we are, well, you got to believe that those things are going to stack over time, you know.
Do you guys, Coach, and this is another thing Moose chatted about a little bit, and I'm just kind of curious, do you guys still go a bunch of good on good during the practice week, or is everything kind of scripted against scout?
Yeah, we've this is one of those methods things that we've been toying with coming out of last year, I think, and then going into this year. We really, I think, like I feel this way, and I think our coaches feel this way, and the feedback that I've gotten doing good on good periods is really, really important, I think, throughout the week. Sometimes we do like ones on ones, twos on twos. Sometimes we go ones versus twos, twos versus ones, but like we're calling our offensive and defensive calls in that game, but like given a certain situation. But I do think it's important just to go out and play ball, get unscouted looks, play fast, make quick decisions, apply that week's game plan to like a look that you just really haven't really watched or isn't scripted. I think is really important. And of course, you got to get looks on card team. That's really important as well to make sure you're buttoned up. But I think it's a combination of both.
It's a one shared element that we actually have now, Coach, that I did a little coaching at a very low level comparatively. Nice. But Jim Harbaugh is who Mike Sanford, the head coach at our high school, worked with at Stanford. Yeah. And of all the different imprints, Boise and Stanford were his two biggest imprints. And we went live every Monday for until the final week of the season when we had a bunch of guys injured. And we couldn't. And we went like multiple periods of like, we're not scripting. D coordinator's got to get better. I got to get better as a play caller, especially year one in the system. And everything was good on good. And man, did it callous us versus my life experience in the West Coast system, which was all script for success, right? We want to get in a rhythm. We don't want to see the ball hit the ground. We're going to script for a ton of success. It's almost script for callousing or script for success. And it feels like maybe leaning into that script to be calloused is something that's paid some dividends.
Well, yeah, I would say I'd say that's true. I mean, we do that in camp, you know, like we don't really do. I think maybe we did a handful of twos on ones in camp, but it was always ones on ones, twos on twos in camp. Is our philosophy. Now there's a little bit, you know, there's time to do. We did like maybe a handful of periods where you're getting premium looks against the twos in camp, but it was really just trying to sharpen each other in camp. And now when we go ones on ones, twos on twos here in the season, I mean. We're also taking care. I mean, we're competing, but we're not callousing in the season. You know, we're just trying to execute at a high level. You know, but I think the answer is it's somewhere in between. You know, and it's probably why all the philosophies exist is because there's no there's no true right or wrong. It's just kind of what's best for your team. I think.
So many of your twos have been ones at various points over the course of the year. I mean, just given the injuries and the depth on this team, we've talked about it a lot this year, but. I loved your comments yesterday about Okada and just how well he's stepped into that role. I don't know whether the secondary in general is the perfect encapsulation of all that depth, but I was just thinking through how many different ways you can line up those 6, 7, 8 guys in your secondary and have them be legitimate starting caliber players, whether it's on the outside, the inside, safety. How much flexibility does that offer you as a play caller?
Well, I think, you know, it's we've been fortunate on like a week to week basis, even though we've had like deviations in our starting lineup, you know, it just, we're allowed, we can get to different things throughout the course of a week to give us a chance to win, you know. So if, you know, when DK was with us at nickel, we played a certain way to try to help him and do what he does best. He played really good, you know, it's just, you know, Ty comes in, we're playing a certain way. Julian's in, we play in a certain way. You know, Arizona game, Nehemiah's playing for us, you know, played a certain way. So it does give you some flexibility to, you know, design a plan probably to help the guys so they can go play their best on a week-to-week basis. But and then now you're sitting at a situation where, okay, we're as probably as healthy as we've been in the secondary. Now we have all these things that we've repped and played at a high level. Now you got to make a decision on what you're going to actually play, but it makes you feel better sitting in the game plan room knowing that you can get to all these different things.
If I asked you a question about Nicky Manwari, are you going to start talking about all the things that he didn't do well? Because I know how you are, and we'll ask about a guy who had a great game. You're like, well, you missed this, this, and this. But it's
do I
just,
do that?
You do that a little bit. Just a little bit. But
we call it a butt. We call it a butt.
A little butt. You got to throw some praise at the kid today, right? I mean, it sure feels like what he did, just in terms of filling up a score sheet and all of the different types of plays he made in the game.
Yeah, no, he had a tremendous game. He really did. He played great. There's some things to clean up. No.
I'm sure there are.
I'll tell you what. Really his effort, his effort on the field goal block, the one before he blocked was tremendous. The first field goal of the game, maybe it was the second one. And it just warms your heart to watch it. It's a high level effort, and he's so close. And so I was really happy that he made that play, because that's a big time play, man. It really changed the tide of the game, and coming off the takeaway, and it was awesome. It was awesome, and he's just gonna continue to get better.
I said to Salk, that's where it'd be really fun to put Salk at that field goal block, or maybe an average human that double dipped on the SEC title game and your game, and put him on that edge to see how close the average human being would not get to that.
Oh,
ball.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's where those traits of his are just so alive, right? I mean,
yeah,
just
totally.
the explosiveness to be able to do that. Hey, Julian played 20 snaps yesterday. Was that kind of an ideal number in the plan going in?
Well, the way the game shook out, yes. I mean, we had a little bit more room for him to play, but we felt like, okay, he felt great. The play he made on the first third down was just a phenomenal play. Man, what a great play that was. On the 7 cut on Pitts. So that was awesome. So and like that took him. I think that gave him some confidence. Like, okay, I can burst and go and let it rip, and so that was really great. But so we felt like he was in a good spot, and he was confident, and Ty was playing great, and we were in a good position in the game. So we decided to say, okay, let's get to next week.
Hey, can we nerd out just for a second? Because you like, I think, every once in a while with the numbers to nerd out a little bit. Explosive plays. We hear all the time how critical they are offensively. I remember this was like 10 years ago, Mike, doing a UCLA game, 8 years ago maybe, with Chip Kelly. And he had numbers at that point. Like, if you get an explosive play per drive, a 15-plus or 10-plus run or 15-plus pass, what that does to the scoring odds at that time, 7, 8, 10 years ago, does that still very much correlate today as you study the numbers? How important are those chunk plays that we really saw in the second half come to life?
Well, it's critically important to be able to get chunks and get explosives. I mean, we're trying to get, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to believe this, but I don't have like something hard and fast, like we have to get X amount of explosives. It's kind of like you feel it to me. It's like, are we doing it or are we not, or where can we improve? But that really that helped our offense in the second half. I mean, be great to get some more explosive runs, but we had some great job, and then even extended plays with Sam. I mean, those were critical. And then defensively, it's the same thing. I mean, there's always that balance of, okay, how can we be aggressive while also kind of limiting our exposure to not give up. We actually gave up some explosive plays yesterday, and we did a great job of recovering and playing those next situations. But it is critical. It's really hard to move the ball kind of 4 yards in a cloud of dust all the way down the field. It's really, really hard.
Time for my weekly JSN question.
Okay, let's hear this
another
one.
new one. Well, this one's not about his play on the field, although obviously that was great this week. But just thinking back on how quietly he handled a quiet week last week. There are a lot of wide receiver ones around football that are noisy when they don't get the ball often and have what for them this year has been a down week. He did not do that at all. He was super quiet about it, whatever it takes to help the team win. How important is that to your team culture? And I'm sure you weren't surprised to hear that from him this past week.
Well, the first thing I'm saying is I'm not surprised because we know who Jax is, and he's an incredible teammate. And it's almost like if nobody brought it up, it wouldn't have been an issue, But like people bring it up because it's an issue somewhere else, and it's like, well, that's not us. It's not an issue here, It's not how we roll here. It's not how he rolls. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about it. But because it's brought up, yeah, of course. I mean, he's a great teammate, and he's going to do what it's going to take to win games. And 90% of the time, it's going to be where he's playing an integral role and he's catching a bunch of balls and getting a bunch of yards and scoring touchdowns and really helping us move it. And every once in a while, once in a blue moon, there will be a game where we're going to have to win it a different way, and that's what happened last week. So, yeah, I mean, but happy for Jet. I mean, and he had a great game this game. The guy, he played great, played awesome, running after catch, blocked well, did a lot of great things. So he's back.
You know what else we got to see? We got to see Sam run the ball a little bit more this week.
Yep.
Was that just as the game kind of developed, declared itself, that there would be those opportunities for him? Or is that kind of a little point of emphasis maybe here down the stretch that, hey, you are capable, you're a good athlete, and you can run it?
Yeah, I think both. I think that there's some opportunities that came up where he could extend the play, and they took advantage of them. And that's something that he knows he can do it. He's really good when he does it. We want him to do it, you know. He does a great job protecting the ball, and we've created some great plays when he does that. So hopefully he keeps it up. And also the way the game, you know, some of the things that they were doing on defense allowed him to do that as well. So it's not like the good thing is he's not forcing it. He's just kind of letting the game come to him and then you know, playing ball.
I know you often talk about Spoon being a force multiplier, and yesterday seemed to be a pretty good day for him. Can you help explain maybe some of the things he does in that game that are force multiplying, so to speak?
Well, I mean, the first thing is his competitive energy. I mean, the game, there's not a lot of energy at the beginning of the game, and you know, our guys were trying to find it, you know, and so Spoon's one of those guys that brings it out of everybody, and got the guys going. You know, and the guys were, and I felt like they responded to, you know, to what he brings to the table. And I mean, just he's playing 3 positions. The speed at what he plays at is just wow. I mean, there's a couple plays that I'm thinking off the top of my head where he understands route stems and denies, you know, the first cut for Cousins, and he either has to dirt the ball or he's going to throw it away or go to his next read. Some just like high level stuff. And then the interception he made, I think, is just a great microcosm of his game. Just, you know, we're bluffing a blitz, and he understands what some of their zero answers are, and anticipated the play, and then just the competitive nature of, you know, attacking the football and just kind of like ball finds energy, you know, like just the most active player on that play ended up with the football, and it's funny how that works out. So that's Spoon. And fumble recovery.
10 pass breakups as a team yesterday, Mike. 10.
Wow.
How?
I didn't know that. So
yes. Pearson didn't give you that number either. Come on, Dave.
I don't really ask for how many PBUs we had.
No.
That's not the first question coming off the field.
How about 8 takeaways in the last 2 games and 9 points allowed? Is that winning football? 9 points allowed
and
8 takeaways in the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You know anything about it? You know anything about Indy yet?
Do I know anything about them?
Yeah. Had a chance to see them, watch them, know much about them?
I know Shane Steichen is a really, really good football coach, and they got a really good football team, and it's a shame what happened to Daniel Jones. You know, the guy's having a great year, and sorry to hear that. And he's a great play caller too. You know, we played him in Baltimore in 2023, and we had our hands full, so we had a great challenge ahead of us.
Come out of that thing fairly healthy yesterday? The Hammer? Come out pretty clean?
Yeah, we think so. That was me knocking on wood.
Or at least
no
some
more
sort
this
of
afternoon.
Whatever
some sort
this
of wood
is.
equivalent or whatever it is we're using
This
here.
is a high-level studio.
Yes, we do the best we can. Coach, thank you. Appreciate it. Two games in a row without allowing a touchdown. That seems like that's
great.
That's a pretty nice thing. And a couple of wins. And
10 pass breakups, too. Do you know that?
10 PBUs.
10.
Yeah, 10 PBUs.
I prefer passes defensed because I like the use
sorry.
of the word
All
defense.
That means we knocked them down.
Yes, 10 times.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 10.
That's pretty good.
It's 10 of them. Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll see you again next Monday.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
Always an interesting conversation. And I actually really liked yesterday. I really enjoyed the stuff about the process and his thoughts on Witherspoon. So you can always find that stuff later. If you want to see Mike, you can go watch it on YouTube. All right. The NFL game is changing, as it always does. It's evolving, and the Seahawks seem to be right in the middle of it. We'll explain as Brock jumps in here next on Brock and Salk.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
If I ask you a question about Nicky Manwari, are you going to start talking about all the things that he didn't do well? Because I know how you are, but it's just...
Do I do that?
You do that a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, he had a tremendous game. There's some things to clean up. Warms your heart to watch it. It's just high-level effort, and he's so close, and so I was really happy that he made that play, changed the tide of the game.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Good Dog Auto Glass. When your windshield breaks, the national brands say their fix is safe, but the quality is light. Instead, trust Good Dog Auto Glass for the best in quality auto glass.
Don't let the insurance company bully you. When you call, we answer the phone. Visit us online and get more bang for your buck.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, you can't keep an eye on everything unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Morning there, Brock.
Morning, Michael.
How we doing?
Morning, Maura. Morning, Charles in charge. Doing
Good
great.
morning.
Doing great. Good morning, buddy. Good morning. How can you not be doing great when Charles on that board?
Well, I don't know if you've been outside here, Brock. If anybody had to step outside last night at any point, you would not be. I've never seen it rain like that in Seattle in my life. Never seen it. Well, I mean, I've been here 17 years. That's
I'm worried
the
about
hardest I've ever
Phillip
seen it
Rivers,
rain.
Salky. I'm worried
You
about
should be.
Phillip Rivers.
You should be worried about every river, everything. It was
Godzilla-esque.
Oh my God, it was terrible. It really was legitimate torrential rain last night. I can't really ever remember here. Anyway, let's talk NFL, Brock. The game, is the NFL changing? Are we watching one of those little evolutions? A couple of years ago, remember, was it the Rams and Bills or Chiefs? Rams and Chiefs, something like that, on TV, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is the future, and it's back and forth and basketball on
that was
grass.
Mahomey, that was golf,
Right?
That was a game in the Coliseum.
Right?
It was in the 50s. Neither team could stop anybody. Oh my goodness.
It was so great.
We're
It was,
in the Big 12.
Yeah.
The NFL's become the Big 12.
Everybody was so excited about passing, and it was so fun. And the run is dead, and defense is dead, and the only thing that matters is how often you can throw it. And the spread had come to the NFL, and I don't know. It feels like that's changed again. Defense seems to be back, and I was, I saw a tweet yesterday from Ben Fennell, who we've mentioned a couple of times before. He's and I think DJ knows him well. He's an NFL Network producer, and he put the Texans and Broncos in tier 1, and then had the Seahawks and Rams in tier 2.
This was defense, right?
Defensive. Yeah, and then when he was asked about, I think he ultimately took it down. Was like, you know what? I'm not sure I actually even think this. So he ended up taking it down. I had written back just out of curiosity, not that because look, I don't watch those teams as often or as carefully as I watch the Seahawks. I'm not crazy enough to sit here and say the Seahawks definitively have a better defense than any of those 3 teams. I just don't know. It seems like all 4 teams are pretty nasty. And I was trying to think of the last time we've had an NFL with 4 tremendous defenses that could carry their teams all the way to a Super Bowl. When's the last time we've had that?
Yeah, I mean, true shutdown defenses. We'll chat with DJ here in an hour and a half, Salk. And last night, I know you didn't get to watch a lot of it. Were you floating? Were you at the Kraken Iceplex? Were you at a volleyball match?
I was at the Kraken Ice Complex. I was at a basketball game first, and then the Kraken Ice Complex.
Gosh, this is such a fun phase of life.
It really was.
I remember it well. Tide's going to be driving by the end of the month.
Oh, my gosh.
How freezing is that?
Oh, my gosh. We're getting
I don't want
old.
to be shuttling anybody around anymore.
Yeah.
But you watched last night, Salk. Philly turned over the Chargers 4 times. The Eagles turned over the Chargers 5 times. I mean, it was a defensive battle. Philadelphia's really good defensively.
Yeah.
That front's still filthy. Their linebackers run. They cover on the back end. The Chargers are terrific defensively as well. Derwin James and that defensive line, you can't really move. And, that was on display again last night. It was the furthest thing from a shootout in a 55-48. I mean, when a team scored a touchdown, you were just, hallelujah.
Right.
I mean, it was, it's kind of where the league has gotten right now. And, in those same years you're referencing, remember Bishop Sankey was the first running back drafted in the mid-50s. Running backs. Yeah, who needs running backs? I don't know. You need Saquon Barkley. Omarion Hampton drafted in the first round by the Chargers in the top 20. No, running backs and difference-making backs you actually kind of need to try to balance this thing out where defenses, to your point, are pretty darn top-heavy.
Yeah, I found myself looking at the top 10s yesterday, and defense in terms of points. So all the top defenses are pretty good team. I mean, it's not a perfect look at it, but Houston, number one, top 10 team in the league right now. They're looking really good. Seahawks 2, Rams 3, Broncos 4, Patriots 5. I mean, that's your top 5. Packers 6. The Chiefs are a little out of it at 7, but then you got Niners 8, Eagles 9, and Jaguars 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's 9 out of those 10 teams are playoff teams, right? And Kansas City's not that far out of it or anything. And look, when you go to the top 10 offenses, I looked at the top 10 passing yards since that was sort of the argument that we were kind of having over the years. And these teams are good too, so it's not like. It's not like passing the ball is irrelevant. I don't want to make that claim. But here's your top 10 in passing yards. Cowboys, Patriots, obviously. Rams, Chiefs, kind of, again, in between. Lions, not what they've been the last couple of years. Niners are good. Cardinals, Indianapolis Colts, Seahawks, and then the Bengals. Look, they're both good lists. But if I had to take the 10 teams on one list versus the 10 on the other, give me the 10 teams that have the 10 best defenses, and I think you see that's a better group. Those are the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like point-to-point scoring offense, Detroit's 1, Seattle's 2, Dallas is 3. A lot of the same teams: Rams 4, Buffalo 5, Indy 6, New England 7, Chicago 8.
So that's kind of interesting too, right?
Green Bay.
The fact that some of the top, is it weird that how many of the top offensive scoring teams are the same as the top defensive scoring teams? Does that surprise you? Because generally we've talked about teams needing to kind of focus on one side or the other.
Yep.
And the fact that all of these teams are, that's got to be connected, right?
Well, I think, yeah. And I think at the root of a lot of it, Salk, I think this is your causation correlation. And I should write this down. I should have what is it?
Post hoc non ergo propter hoc?
Yeah, I should have that tattooed. Not the other one. I should have that one tattooed on my ribs. Because the cause of lots of this is what we have seen in drafts, certainly of recent vintage. Like, it's line of scrimmage. You want to balance your team out. You want to have a complementary team. Very difficult to do if your line of scrimmage is tilted all in one way. If all of your resources on your defensive line and you have no offensive line. Tough to do if all of them are on your offensive line and you kind of have a weak defensive line.
Yeah.
And what have we seen in these last drafts? Even these like crazy organizations, even the Dallas Cowboys did the right thing and took Booker, the big guard out of Alabama. Like, nope, I've got to fortify that at the line of scrimmage. And I think that has been kind of a central theme of big people the last 2, 3, 4 years in these drafts.
Well, right. So
and the best teams have them.
And doesn't that make sense? So you kind of look at the evolution of this. Okay, the passing offense comes on strong and Mahomes and all those guys. And then
gotta draft receivers. Got to have receivers. All these receivers.
And then a couple of teams realize, hold on a minute. Like if we go with 2 deep safeties, like this passing craziness kind of goes away. You can limit it at least and limit the big plays, and a two deep safety defense will kind of take this out. But if you have that, you've got to get to the quarterback, right, with fewer people. So you've got to have the defensive line. So if you do those couple of things, and then the offense has to start drafting offensive linemen in order to deal with the defense. So, like, you can see, and I'm sure there will come a time again where passing offense rises back to the top. I know it will happen. I'm not afraid of it. But I do hope that when it does happen again, people are done with the victory laps and the like, well, see, here we go. Now it's all offense. That's the way the world is forever and ever. Like, no, that's the way it is this year for a couple of years, but this thing is an evolution.
So there will be people that still do
I know. I thank you.
They will plant their flag. And just as there are football coaches that like to rename their systems, like the go-go system or the pistol, and just like they think they have created something, all entirely new. And just like Joe Paterno, man, one of his very last production meeting I was a part of, and he on his little napkin wrote down and said to Carter Blackman, Carter, look at this. And he drew up a play. And it was like, you know what we were doing in the 1930s in my junior high? Read option. I would get the snap. I would either hand it to the back or I'd read the hands. And guess what? It was being done 90 years ago as well.
So
it was a great game.
When you think about those teams, so it is interesting to me, again, that they have that the best in one are also the best in the other. And someone's saying, no, that's not a shock. The best teams have good offenses and defenses. I don't know. It's a bit of a shock that so many of the teams show up in the top 10 of both. That does surprise me a little bit. So I wonder, there's got to be some level of causation between the two. I don't know exactly what that is. But I wonder if you look at those like top teams, Brock, if you would have a sense as to whether or not they're an offensive team or a defensive team at their core. And maybe it just has to do with their coach. Maybe that's how you look at it. But, kind of look at the Patriots. Is that an offensive team or a defensive team? I would say defense, right, with Mike Vrabel?
You would think. But old Drake and Joshy Boy got it going.
I know.
He's the front runner for the MVP.
But what is their at their
Stafford.
core? What are they?
Yeah, well, that's hard to define here.
I know.
Year one.
Bills at their core,
That's
an offensive
That's
team.
Josh Allen,
right?
Yeah,
that's an offensive team. The Jaguars at their core. I think they're a defensive team. Like I think the offense is along for the ride, but what do I know?
Well,
the
now
Texans.
Liam Cohen's trying to run it around. The Texans were an offensive team. Now they've kind of morphed to
Very clearly a defensive team, I think you would say. The Broncos, clearly a defensive team. The Chargers, clearly a defensive team. The Eagles.
Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton got some words for you with that, but okay.
He can say whatever he wants. I mean, his offense is along for the ride, no?
to a degree, but they're complimenting. Come back to that word.
That's right, but what kind of a team is that? This defensive team.
Yeah.
They have arguably the best defense in the game, and their offense is barely okay. Not even the top 10. So, to me, that
was
was
the Seahawks, Salk?
I would say they're a defensive team, and I actually don't even think it's all that close. I think they are a defensive team. I think
the most explosive player in football, who's the offensive player of the year, leading
at their core. What's the core identity of it if you have to choose? Then does anybody disagree with that? I'd be curious. 866-979-3776. Drop us a text. We'll come back with everything you need to know next.
Looking for a gap. He's got one. He's off to the races. Look out. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Make it back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Seahawks, but they're just getting started.
We building a brotherhood. That's what it's about.
It's the Seahawks' quest to win the NFC West.
Honestly, we got a lot of special dudes on this team.
Placement, and it's blocked.
Yes.
Guess who? It's Eamon Warren. Yeah, guess who?
And it's only on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and I have had a couple sports injuries. Have I told you guys that over the years? Have I told you about my injuries from head to toe? But you don't have to play pro football to know what I'm talking about. I know many of you on this Tuesday morning, like my pops, wake up with painful joints from arthritis, and it affects you. It makes it hard to do pretty much anything and to get around. Well, if you're in that spot, then my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, he and his team, well, they're ready for your call. 425-823-4000. 425-823-4000. Dr. Nelson and crew, they've seen so many patients suffering from chronic joint pain, affecting their quality of life. Make it stop. He can. Consider this. He's the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine train lately. Not Dr. Nelson. This really has been his expertise for over 3 decades. So his tool bag, it includes everything from platelet-rich plasma and stem cell therapy to all the other tools he has to help you conquer your pain. Give him a call this morning, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Hey, Hawk fans, Jake Bobo.
Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline. Roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
This is the home of the Seahawks. Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN Seattle Sports.
Okay. Only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There. The last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
2026 Mariners season ticket memberships are on sale now. Catch Cal, Julio, and the crew at T-Mobile Park with year-round savings, no ticket fees, and more. You've got two great options. Reserved memberships let you lock in the best locations in the ballpark, whether you want to catch 20 games or the whole season. Or go with a flex membership and choose your seats, games, and number of tickets as you go.
There it goes! Storybook season by Cal Raleigh.
Come on board today at mariners.com/26.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Got to be healthy this time of year, Brock, and you probably got to have a lot of depth on your roster. The Seahawks, right now, kind of the best of both worlds. They are as healthy as I can remember a team this time of year, heading, now deep into December. It'll get tested a little bit, right? Elijah Arroyo's now going to miss a little time at tight end, but they may get Eric Saubert back right at around the same time. Jalen Sundell looks like he should be able to return this week.
Jalen should be back this week, yeah.
I'll ask you again, is he going to practice at guard or center?
We'll see.
Not interested in answering that question.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Just a big old we'll see on that one.
I want you to know.
Exactly.
But it's remarkable those three different guys at that position have such three different skill sets. If you were to put Sundell at guard, right? Light,
I'm talking
athletic,
Sundell, Bradford,
movement.
and
Bradford,
Christian
gigantic
Haynes.
Power, Haynes, heavy hands, not a lot of other movement. Yeah, they're just very different skill sets, and we'll be kind of curious to see, And I don't know. I mean, it's not like quarterback. It's not like you got to keep it from everybody, right? And I think they will get a feel sooner rather than later if Sundell can do that.
Yeah.
You'll be a little lighter. You'll be, you won't be as fortified right in the middle of it. And God bless Anthony Bradford. He has been good in pass protection.
And we'll talk a little bit more about him at 8 o'clock this morning. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are up to number 3, Brock, in the ESPN Power Rankings, just behind the Rams and Patriots. Do you know where they started the year? Do you remember?
22?
Not quite that bad. They started at
18?
17, fell to 20 after losing to the Niners, and are now number 3. Pretty good. The Colts, they're desperate. Daniel Jones is done. Anthony Richardson's done. The remaining options are Riley Leonard, who, by the way, has a grade 1 PCL strain, and Brett Rippon. So they're calling in the righty, Brock. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Well, we'll see. He's
could
gotta
be on
work
their
out
practice squad.
He's got to work out today.
I mean, you think he's ready for that kind of a work? They're going to sign him. You know they are. You don't bring in Phillip Rivers and then be like, nah, we're good. That's just not happening. They're going to sign Phillip Rivers. I really believe that. Shane Steichen.
He got a lot of mouths to feed, man.
He does, I guess. I don't know, man. That's just a... Also, Phillip Rivers isn't a Hall of Famer, right?
It's debatable.
No, it's not.
Yeah, longevity. And now if he plays at 44, like Y.A. Tittle did?
Dude, you got to be one of the best dominant quarterbacks of your time. He was not.
He was the Hall of really, really
That's
really
right.
good.
Hall of really, really good. But he's behind Brady and Manning and Breeze, who were the 3 dominant quarterbacks of that generation. He's behind Rodgers and Warner and even, I think, Big Ben. And then I kind of put him similar to Eli, right? Like combine their careers, and you got one really good Hall of Fame quarterback.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I don't know if it's going to heat up today. It's been a quiet start to the winter meetings. Jeff Passan was going to join us here at 7:30. Had to move it, so we're going to talk to him now at 9:30 later this morning, or maybe even tomorrow, kind of depending on what goes on there in Orlando. I liked the quotes from Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander yesterday, Brock. I liked that they said Jose Ferrer was their top bullpen target of the offseason. I like that they explained he's somebody they've coveted for years and have wanted, for the last couple of seasons, and that they are still looking to do even more, add more veteran experience to their pen. I liked all that.
Yeah, and I think they're going to need that. Their guys have played and exhausted a lot of innings and a lot of pitches over the last few years in that bullpen. Their leverage guys in particular. And maybe, one of the tentacles of this that we didn't talk about yesterday at great length was, maybe this move as well with a cheaper option of club control for the next 4 years gives you some salary flexibility. If you do want to bring in a Ketel Marte or for your budget and spend, instead of spending 7, 8, 10, 12 million bucks. No, by the way, you're only paying Mooney $7 million, about half the value that he would be, or maybe even a third of the value that he would be on the open market.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that does give you some flexibility to
I would
pivot
certainly hope
way
so.
The market allows.
Does seem like they are open to doing something big, and Ketel Marte is going to be the biggest name that I think we're talking about, but Brendan Donovan is going to be a name to follow, Brandon Lau, and a few others as well, and we'll see what happens with Polanco this week.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Tonight for my guy Jalen Hurts, 4 picks and a fumble, including one in overtime in the red zone. That's not great. NFC, I don't know. Philly doesn't seem like they got it this year. Maybe they'll turn it around at the end. They have before, but it seems like there's 5 or 6 teams kind of able to do it in the NFC, and they're not one of them. Kraken fall to 2-1. Brock failing to generate really any offense at home at all against Minnesota. I'm sorry, it was 4-1 because they scored a couple of late empty netters.
You take Schwartzy off the ice, you see what happens.
Well,
it's been very crystal clear.
I mean,
that's my guy.
You're not wrong. By the way, that's been a big part of it.
Yep.
And then what's going on with the Cougs? I thought Bump gave a pretty interesting view on where they should go next with their head coaching job.
Cougs, we need somebody who has been a Coug. We need someone who looks at the Palouse as home and not just a pit stop.
Are you submitting yourself as head coach?
I'm not. I've been contacted. People just hit me up all the time. Like, Bob, apply for the job. You don't just apply for the WSU job. You don't do that. You got to be hit up and all that good stuff. Stuff is happening at Wazoo. I can't tell you exactly what's going down, but it has to be someone who is there. If it ain't me, if it ain't maybe a teammate that I play with, we got Pelor, who's the head coach over there at Skyline. Maybe he gets in. If it's not someone who has direct connections to the university as a player, My push is going to be for Rob Akey. Rob Akey was the interim coach at Oregon State when they fired their head coach. He was the head coach at Idaho for a while. He was a defensive coordinator over at Wazoo when I was there, and he ain't going nowhere. I spoke to Coach Akey. I'm like, listen, what's your interest in the job? He goes, look, I want the job, but I'm not going anywhere. You need someone who is committed to that.
Rob Akey?
You remember Rob Akey?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How do you remember Rob Akey?
He's just kind of a spitfire, right?
Remember when I was doing the Idaho Bowl? Very early on, he was the head coach at Idaho.
Yeah.
And at halftime, he had one of the maybe the greatest walk-off interview ever, when he was like, "You're going to like the second half.
Yeah.
Stay tuned." Yes.
I do kind of remember that.
And his two sons are named Jack Daniel. Yeah, he's
I mean, Jack and Daniel, I hope. Okay.
Yeah,
they didn't
Jack
name both
and-
of them Jack Daniel.
I could have. No, he named one Jack and one Daniel.
All right. That's everything you need to know.
He's a hoot. He is a hoot.
They could use a hoot on the Palouse. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right. All right, so let's kind of flop things. I was going to do some of this a little later, but I'll do it for you now. I'm going to play you some sound, Brock, that probably could have been in trash takes for tomorrow. But if you ever needed like real legitimate proof that the East Coast attitude is as arrogant, egocentric and myopic. It's an unbelievable piece of sound, but it leads really well into what the Mariners have in front of them here right now this morning. We'll do it next on Brock and Salk.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join the stations of Bonneville, Seattle, and Treehouse for the 37th year of Holiday Magic, helping provide holiday gifts and year-long support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide. Wednesday, December 10th. Over the 37 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
All right, if you don't know yet what you're doing this weekend, let me make a little recommendation. How about Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel? Maybe get a room. I think by then the atmospheric river should be done. So if you want to go hit the pool, yeah, it's got a whole indoor-outdoor deal. So it's not like you're going to be freezing cold outside in the rain or anything like that. It's awesome. Sports bar is great. 60-plus TVs, perfect spot to watch the game and do all the fun things that come with watching it at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You know it. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Ready to deck the holidays? Win a brand new free deck, courtesy of one of the most trusted exterior companies in the Pacific Northwest, State Roofing and Exteriors. Don't miss out. Enter now at mynorthwest.com/win. That's mynorthwest.com/win.
When my windshield cracked, I called All-Star Auto Glass. All-Star's money stays in the Northwest. SafeLight sends money to shareholders in Europe. All-Star supports the local economy. If this happens to you, call All-Star Auto Glass.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I've got a special offer for you right now. Take advantage of off-season savings through December and get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, so I think Jeff Passan's going to join us in a couple hours. As we knew it was going to be fluid with Jeff, just, winter meetings and some of the challenges of his schedule while he was there. So he said he'd come on with us either 9:30 today or maybe 7:30 tomorrow, kind of depending on how things go.
When are we going to check in with Lyle?
I've texted with Lyle, but I haven't heard back from him.
The poor guy couldn't bring along his mic stand. I don't know if you noticed that. I shot you the video.
I did. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, these mic stands can be heavy. I mean, I get it.
What do you think was going on with that? They're holding these big mics like this.
I think that's exactly what happened.
You think they couldn't bring them or they forgot them?
I think they are very heavy, and they needed to be nimble and mobile. And instead of having,
then why
mic
wouldn't
stands,
they bring more like like little lapel mics or something?
They were carrying them like this.
I think they forgot it. I think that's a straight up. They forgot their stands, and now they've got themselves a little problem. But I don't. We'll hear from Lyle at some point. He'll be back on Thursday.
All right.
I wanted to play the sound for you, Brock. It leads into a Mariner conversation about where they're at, but I just thought you would. I don't know. Maybe find this entertaining. This is Joe Benigno, who used to be on WFAN in New York. Now he's in his 70s, so maybe I shouldn't get bent out of shape about this. I should at least offer that as like a caveat. But I will admit, I saw this, and it's a conversation between him and John Heyman, so I should have just dismissed it out of hand. But he is, of course, a New Yorker, and he's talking here about David Stearns. If you're not familiar with that name, he is the GM of the Mets. And just listen, it's only about 40 seconds long, but I don't know that I've ever heard better insight into the way people in, New York think.
No, I don't like Stearns at all. He's the typical baseball geek, went to the Ivy League, smarter than everybody, probably has as much athletic ability as this table here that I'm touching, and, is going to reinvent baseball. Batting average means nothing. RBIs mean nothing. Wins mean nothing. It's all about OPS, SPO, exit velo, on and on. WAR plus.
I'll stop it there for a moment. How freaking old are you?
Is that the 70-year-old guy, or was that him?
Yeah,
that's a 70-year-old guy.
But I mean, I can't believe people are still talking that way. It really, truly boggles my mind that there's still people talking that way. It really does. Like, if you want to say, hey, here's some of the reasons why I don't buy into that stuff, and I think that fine. But are there really people still making jokes about OPS plus? Like, really? A, it's not funny. B, it's just dumb. And C, you're missing the boat. But whatever. Anyway, let me finish it because it's the end of my favorite part.
If this guy does not sign Pete Alonso, I'll blame the owner more than I'll blame him. But this guy is a small market general manager, really doesn't belong in New York as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so that last part is the part that I just... what does that even mean?
Doesn't belong in New York.
He's a small market general manager who doesn't belong in New York. Can you imagine that is a point of view? What is it about him that doesn't belong in New York as makes him like a small market, like where they do more with less, where they do a better job than they do in New York?
You know what?
What am I missing?
I'm not as bothered by that as I am some of the other.
All of it.
In the sense that I think that there are some coaches, Salk, this is coaches, maybe not general managers and talent acquisition, but there are some coaches that are going to be better suited for certain markets. Rob Akey could coach at Wazoo. He could not coach at Ohio State.
That I understand. That's not what he's saying.
There are market conditions.
That's
where,
not what he's saying.
That player who is going to be more, Zach Greinke, is going to be more comfortable in Kansas City than he would be with the Yankees. Right? I think there are coaches and players that would enjoy those smaller markets.
That's not what he's saying.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think that's what he's saying at all. No. If I understand the argument here, it's small market general managers have to be smart because they don't have all that money. Big market general managers should be dumb and just go out there and spend money.
Stars.
You know who he should maybe think about?
I need stars.
Andrew Friedman. Because Andrew Friedman is both. Andrew Friedman runs the biggest payroll in the game and is brilliantly smart, which is why he won in Tampa Bay before winning in L.A. The idea that there's such a thing as a big market and small market GM is something only somebody in New York could come up with. That is them just to a T.
That's pretty silly.
Well, give Jerry credit and Justin credit, Jerry DePoto and Justin Hollander, because what they've done is kind of in the middle, right? This isn't a big market. It's not a small market. This is almost directly right in the middle market. And I think they've really tried to stick to their guns of doing a little bit of both. They don't spend in the high 20s in terms of payroll. They're right around where their market size is, basically in the middle. And they've found ways to spend some money on some good players, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Luis Castillo. We kind of talk about those. But then also to find good bargains and good trades and guys who are still on affordable contracts where they can. And, I think that's why you like the Josh Naylor signing. It's affordable. It's a reasonable contract. I think Jim Bowden was pointing out yesterday that they got him for less than the Yankees are spending on Trent Grisham. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just being smart. But there is also room for one more. Yeah, I think so. For one more big acquisition. What does that look like? I don't know. I mean, I keep looking at the board, and everything has been very quiet. I talked to some folks in Orlando yesterday, and in general, they've said it's just been a really quiet market. And part of the reason is that the asking price for a lot of these players has just been enormous. So, that could be a guy like Jarren Duran. It could be Ketel Marte. It could be Stephen Kwan. Like some of the names, the bigger names we've talked about. The asking price right now, I think Brendan Donovan's going to go for a lot. I think that's a big one. He's going to go for more than people expect. And by a lot,
you mean a lot of blue chip prospects.
Yeah, I mean, so think about him as compared to Randy Arozarena. right? Both guys were traded with 2, in Randy's case, 2+ years left in in their arbitration controllable years.
This would be Donovan you're talking about?
Yeah, Brendan Donovan.
Okay, from the
right?
Cardinals.
So he's going to be reasonably priced, probably just a little under what Randy Arozarena made over the last year and this coming year. So you might think, okay, well, they're equal in terms of what you might have to give up. And if you go back and remember, the Mariners didn't give up a tremendous amount for Randy. But I think the problem you run into is Donovan just has a better reputation, and more teams covet that and want that right now at middle infield.
Yeah.
And by the way, there aren't a ton of middle infielders out there and available in free agency. If you don't get Bo Bichette or you can't afford Bo Bichette, who else are you looking at? I mean, that's kind of your option in free agency is Bichette or Polanco, I guess, if you still believe he can play second. And then you're on to some of these trade candidates. The good news is that if the Cardinals are asking for, the moon, the sun, and the stars, you can at least say, there's Brandon Lau. There's Jake Cronenworth. There's Jorge Polanco. We want to go big and go get Ketel Marte. So you can hopefully try to wait them out and see if you can get that price to drop. But I think the challenge, and it's the same challenge every year at the winter meetings, the teams that are selling are hanging on to those assets for everything. They want the world for them.
Yes, but the challenge is, and this is always kind of what you weigh, is the known versus the unknown.
Right.
Right. And I think when you've got a known commodity that has been very consistent for 4 years, as Donovan has been, it's like, hey, great. That's what past market conditions have said is if I give you one top 100 or whatever, but this is what I want now because this is a known commodity versus you may think the world of your top 100 guys and you may be loaded in your farm system, but you know what they're not? They're proven. They're unproven. They're not proven commodities. And I don't know. Yeah, and how you project them may not be how we project them. And you know what? Mr. Ford that just got traded is probably case in point to some of that. That I think a lot of us on the outside are like, are you kidding me? He's athletic. He's a catcher. He can run. He's got a rocket arm. He was a 3-time Futures All-Star, right? He's all of these things. But in the models of these major league teams, they try to project him and say,
I'm going to guess
he's not an impact guy.
I'm going to guess that that's the best they've ever been offered for Harry Ford, or they would have traded him before. I mean, as I said a few times, I don't think they were ever really in love with Harry Ford, the catcher. They'd be willing to trade him for a while. I'm going to guess that this is the best they've ever been offered for him, and so they really like the deal they got. I mean, you heard the way they were talking about the acquisition, the lefty, and I watched some film on. Have you seen any of him, Brock?
Oh, he's
pretty
got power
filthy
source now. Oh, he got
dude.
power
He's
source.
he's got some nasty looking
he's built
stuff.
like I kind of like him built. So
Yeah.
He's
He's got a little something. So anyway, to kind of bring it back as you look through the options, if you're gonna give up a lot, let's get a lot. I guess that's kind of my feeling, and that's why I do keep coming back to Ketel Marte. If you're gonna give up a lot, let's get a lot. And, personally, I love Bo Bichette. I think he's a really interesting player. I'd be surprised if it happens here. I love Bregman. Again, think he's a great player, and I love the attitude he brings. Would I rather have Bregman than Marte? I mean, I could write you a script, Brock, where that's you know what you're getting in terms of attitude and effort and all that stuff. And I think there are some questions with Marte. We know that. But the impact and what you could get over the next couple of years, I mean, Brock, that puts you in the
now, Bregman's a free agent, right? He
Yep.
opted out of his deal?
Yep.
So one just costs you dollars and cents, and one would cost you dollars and cents and quite a bit of your prospects.
But you gotta, I mean, they need something because right now they are essentially without a second and third baseman DH. So you've got to bring in at least one more bat. You can't turn over all of those spots.
So what's your gut
young
say
players.
right now? And I know this can change and the market changes and everything else. What does your gut say on Tuesday, December 9th? Do you think coming out off of this season where you were 9 outs away from a World Series, where so much of your roster is in place, the foundational pieces are here. Your youth is here, your rotation is here, your farm system is here. There are so many things. You did the thing that you had to do. It was a have to with Josh Naylor, and you get that done, and not an unbelievably extraordinary rate either.
Right.
On a good deal for both sides. Does your gut say, let's continue to do what's got us here? Let's continue to do and nibble on the edges with some of these kind of veteran and role players.
It's hard, Brock. Here's the reason I have trouble answering your question. It's a good question. I hate to dodge it.
It's what every Mariners fan is thinking.
I know.
What are you going to do now?
I think that the biggest unknown that kind of triggers everything else is what happens with Jorge Polanco. He's asking for a lot of money, more than I think if Mariner fans knew how much Polanco wanted, they'd say, yeah, I'm not doing that. And if he gets it somewhere else, that completely changes the equation versus if he can't get it and he comes back to the Mariners on a much more reasonable 2-year deal with an option or something like that. And my gut has told me that Polanco's going to end up getting it somewhere else, and that's going to be it. And then they're going to have to pivot, and we end up having a conversation about one of these other second basemen or maybe right fielders or whatever, just something to bring more oomph into the lineup. But the reason I think I like Marte, and I'll even keep coming back to the name Brandon Lau, I know the defense is weak, is you're going to have to – look, Geno Suarez probably not going to be in the lineup next year. That's a bunch of home runs. Obviously, the same is true with Polanco in this scenario. But the big one for me is and maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I should expect Cal to do the same damn thing and hit 50+. But the odds are that there's going to be a regression, even if it's to 40 or 45 home runs. That's 10, 15, 20 home runs you've got to replace just from Cal, and that's before you get into a few of the other spots. So, yeah, I do believe, Brock, that there is a need for another player with pop. And so that leads me to Marte, and it leads me to Lau, probably more than any of the other players that are out there and available. So,
but kind of what you said a couple weeks ago feels like it rings still true, and that is that Polanco's kind of the pivot piece.
I think so. Yeah, and still waiting to see. Now, Jesse Rogers, ESPN, said that he's expected to sign somewhere during the winter meetings. So if he makes his decision quickly, everybody else can move on, and then we'll see where the Mariners go from there. But we're still, I think, kind of waiting on that.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, 3 good football questions, and we'll hopefully talk to Jeff Passan 9:30 this morning is our goal. Let's start here. We talked to Macdonald yesterday. We talked about process and results. We then talked about, practicing good on good. Our iron sharpens iron, Brock, ones versus ones. Why was that so important to you?
Yeah, because I think that is the essence of a lot of what they do different from other people, Salk, and different from my life experience. I used the wrong word in retrospect. I wish I would have said, instead of scripting for success, scripting to sharpen or hone instead of callous. You hear callous, and a coach like Mike hears callous. He thinks hitting and live tackling and stuff that we do at a high school level that you can't do at the college, and certainly not the pro level. But here was Mike, cut number 12, speaking to some of that good on good and why they do it.
This is one of those methods things that we've been toying with coming out of last year, I think, and then going into this year. We really, I think, I feel this way, and I think our coaches feel this way, and the feedback that I've gotten doing good on good periods is really, really important, I think, throughout the week. Sometimes we do like ones on ones, twos on twos. Sometimes we go ones versus twos, twos versus ones, but we're calling our offensive and defensive calls in that game, but given a certain situation. But I do think it's important just to go out and play ball, get on scouted looks, play fast, make quick decisions, apply that week's game plan to a look that you additionally haven't really watched or isn't scripted. I think is really important. And of course, you got to get looks on card team, and that's really important as well to make sure you're buttoned up. But I think it's a combination of both.
As far as methods go, if I were to ever consult or ever coach further or whatever, I would be such a believer in that rather than scripting for success and scripting for rhythm and scripting for confidence and scripting for, we know this play is going to be great versus this look, and I want you to feel that and see that. No, actually I want this to be real football. As Coach Sanford likes to say in our program, the only way you get good at playing football is to play football. And it sounds simple, kind of like your run axiom of the only way you run the ball well is to run it and run it with volume. And the more you can sharpen and the more you can go good on good and the more competitive you can be in those scenarios. Pete did a lot of that in the offseason. We used to see that. And unfortunately got fined, and unfortunately lost draft picks, and unfortunately it got so volatile and so heated they couldn't sharpen each other, right? It got a little out of control. I think Mike's got a really good sense and beat on it, Salk. It is the old Harbaugh in him. That is the imprint. That's where it came from originally, and I think that methodology is helping this club a bunch.
We'll get to it later. Question number 2. I think, anyway, that Riley Leonard is going to start against the Seahawks this week. We'll find out. I mean, he's got a little knee thing, but it's just a grade 1 PCL, so I think he'll probably be able to go. I know I saw him last year in the championship game, Brock, but other than that, who's Riley Leonard?
Well, he's got more traits than Mr. Brosmer did. When DJ joins us, and we can talk a little bit about this matchup at the end of the conversation.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is he a better throwing, not as good running Tim Tebow?
Yeah, I think that's somewhat fair. He's not nearly as big and powerful and strong as Tim.
But he's got some of that.
He's a good runner.
Yeah.
He was an elite high school basketball player, kind of like Drew Lock was. You know, honestly, there's some Drew Lock without, like, the purity of the arm.
Isn't Drew Lock a lot taller and thinner?
No.
When I look at Riley Leonard, I see, like...
Go ahead and Google Ryan.
All right, I'll
Riley
look
Leonard.
at him. I see more of a Tim Tebow shape. Maybe not quite as big, than I see that tall. I mean, Drew Lock, I think of as being really tall and thin.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
All right,
ahead.
I'll look at it while you're
Google
talking.
search while I'll talk about some of his traits. Dynamic high school basketball player. Actually, really considered playing college basketball, kind of like Drew Lock did. Ended up going to Duke originally and had a year where he was remarkable. And there were a lot of folks forecasting this guy's going to be a franchise top 10 Drake May, kind of in that state of Carolina. Right, he was at Carolina while he was at Duke. Like this is kind of Drake May-esque. And then the following year, it just kind of fell off a cliff with the team, his play, his throwing. He ends up going to Notre Dame, gets paid pretty good money, elevates him, goes all the way to a national title game because he's a good dude, good leader. You know, they don't brag about his mentality like Max Brosmer, and he's so brilliant. No, he's just a really good athlete and a competitive guy. But he's got a pretty broken throwing motion. Like he doesn't throw it very consistently. And because of that, he fell way down in the draft because the accuracy and the anticipation, kind of a long delivery, not a real pure, clean thrower, but a very, very good athlete and much more size and much more traits than the guy that was in here last week.
I should always, as always, defer to you on these things, Brock. I don't even know why I ask. I don't even know why I try to have any of these conversations. Drew Lock, yeah. Drew, they're both 6'4", but Drew Lock outweighs him by 15 pounds. Just shut my mouth again.
Have you ever tried all these years?
I know. I really should just shut up. Watch the guy play. I've watched the guy play one time. Just shut up, Salk. Just shut up.
I just want a little trust.
Just shut up, Salk. Question number 3. Maura, why do I even do this? What's wrong with me? Seriously.
I don't know.
All right, well, thanks for coming to my defense, Maura.
I gotta say it like that,
Yeah,
Maura.
seriously, Maura. Brock, who has become the voice of reason in college football?
Yeah. It's too bad that Lyle ain't here. He'd be nodding along. Arizona State alum that is Lyle Goldstein and Kenny Dillingham of all people. Little Kenny Dillingham, and he is little, Salk. He is an under 6-footer. He's in your club.
I should never, ever not trust you when it comes to people's height and weight. It's all you care about. The problem is you call everyone little, and then I don't know who to believe.
Just shut up. He's got a lot of opinion, and this is pretty much right on.
We've created a mess. Point blank. The whole industry is a mess, right? The only thing that's not a mess is the dollar signs. Those are still pointing up. Everything else is a mess. The dollar sign, the business of it, that's skyrocketing. Everything else a mess. That's just being transparent and honest. There's not, other than the ratings, the dollars, the money involved, it's a mess. Yeah. So this is just another piece of the mess.
It's just crazy.
I mean, that's not really voice of reason. I mean, like, give me a solution. That's voice of reason.
Yeah. That's a voice of
frustration.
Transparency. Yeah, it's a voice of truth that is going out there with the lying and the cheating and the stealing. I mean, that poor guy. He's not even a poor guy because he knows it. And he went on later in the interview to be like, "Yeah, Sam Levitt. Oh, remember him? So we talked about him before the season. He was going to be one of these first rounders this year and a very good player and took the team to the playoff. And then he got hurt. Sam Levitt's going to go get $4 million from somebody in the SEC. I mean, he's just like, it's going to happen. And all these numbers. I know some of these quarterbacks get paid $4 or $5 million in college football. And he's like, but don't worry. We're going to bring somebody in really good because he knows somebody's going to come in. And, like, it's just, as I said, it rips away all the fiber of my being, of what my college experience was, of growth, of development, of hard times, of friendships, of ups and downs, of 25 years later texting Jeff Johnson, my roommate, and other teammates and dating. Like, you forge bonds, you forge brotherhood.
Kids don't do that anymore anyway. I mean, Brock, they just sit there on their phones and don't even talk to each other. So I don't know like what you think it would be without some of the other things in college football. You think otherwise kids talk to each other? They just stare at their phones.
I got to experience this year. Cultures can be different. I got to experience a pretty neat culture of brotherhood.
They
where
just
guys
stare at their phones.
Talk to one another.
That is today's Blue 88. No, you're wrong. It's just not happening. None
Salk,
of that.
Be careful.
You're just flat wrong.
Just shut up, Salk.
Brock, I know everything, and I'm telling you that you're wrong. You don't know anything about this. All right, Brock.
What does Charles think when we talk like this? What do you think, Charles?
Well, I remember that the last time I was here, somebody on the text line was saying, please don't fight in front of Charles.
That's right.
We're fighting again. Not even fighting, though. Stop the fight. Throw the damn towel. Salk's getting killed. All right, coming up next, Brock, the two biggest questions about the Seattle offense are polar, diametrically opposite. But that's next on Brock and Salk.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
If I ask you a question about Nick Eamon-Warrior, are you going to start talking about all the things that he didn't do well? Because I know how you are, but it's just...
Do that?
You do that a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, he had a tremendous game. There's some things to clean up. Warms your heart to watch it. It's just high-level effort, and he's so close, and so I was really happy that he made that play, changed the tide of the game.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on, like a close friend who never lies. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through December 21st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Good Dog Auto Glass. When your windshield breaks, the national brands say their fix is safe, but the quality is light. Instead, trust Good Dog Auto Glass for the best in quality auto glass.
Don't let the insurance company bully you. When you call, we answer the phone. Visit us online and get more bang for your buck.
It's the best time of the year. Toyota-thon. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are providing you with large savings and the widest selection of inventory on Toyota favorites like the 2025 Tacoma, leasing at just $259 a month with $39.99 due at signing. The 2026 Tundra, financing at 2.99% APR, up to 72 months, and $1,000 bonus cash. The gas and hybrid RAV4s and the Corolla Cross, valid until January 5th, 2026. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Model 7540.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Hey folks, John Curley here. When that December chill hits and your house feels colder than it should, comfort matters. That's why I trust Home Comfort Alliance. For heating, plumbing, or electrical, call the comfort people at Home Comfort Alliance or visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cat there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
509 says, I think if Brock just continues to tell Salk to shut up, you'll get to a 4.7 rating on Apple by the end of the day. Hey, don't knock it, man. I gotta tell you, Brock, I keep looking at the Holiday Magic auction. Holiday Magic auction, the golf and sports talk with me at Newcastle is on the rise. You know where we're at now?
We were 1,100 yesterday, right?
Yeah, we've almost doubled that. We are the current bid is $2,000.
What?
Yeah, so to get over, you got to get over 2,000.
Maybe they're hoping they can tell you to shut up.
Hey, wouldn't it be worth $2,500 to tell me to shut up live and in person on the golf course? Yeah, go to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic or text MAGIC to 866-979-3776. And really, the whole auction is tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's when this really gets going. So nice to already be at 2,000. I think we're leading the pack at the moment, but I know that Wyman and the big fishing trip is gonna come big at the end. Like, I know how this goes. I'm not getting cocky or anything like that. But yeah, it'd be fun. So come spend a little money for a good cause, and we'll go golfing at Newcastle. Should be a blast. Okay, so it's weird, Brock. The two big questions about the Seattle offense. Like, one is the ultimate normal, every single team, like this is what you talk about every day. And the other is the absolute farthest away from that you can get. Because the two biggest question mark positions right now, and I would hope almost everyone would agree, is quarterback and right guard. It's hilarious, right? I mean, it's like the most commonly discussed position and probably the one most people talk about the least and know the least about. But, in Sam Darnold's case,
it's one that everybody's got an opinion on, and it's one that just about, unless you're an absolute diehard or former lineman, it's really hard to have an opinion.
Certainly an enlightened opinion, right? Everyone can have the opinion of, I hate the guy that's there, but
and
it's really hard to be enlightened
5 plays
about
a game where he does look lost in space, where he literally just is turned in a different
Are you talking about the
direction
quarterback
than
or the right
before.
guard?
The right guard.
Oh, the right guard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, anyway, which one worries you more? As you head towards the playoffs and knowing that you got, 2 huge games coming with your division rivals and then maybe more games against them, but against this sort of cream of the crop in the NFC, which do you think will have a greater, I shouldn't say a greater effect, because obviously quarterback is the most important position.
Impact,
obviously, I know that. But which one worries you more? The right guard spot or the quarterback spot?
No, I mean the quarterback. The right guard, a lot of times, too, this is a little bit like some of the youth sports we enjoy talking about and why you see, and even Molly and I being former athletes and everything else, like we look back at the way we parented our firstborn versus the third with youth sports, and you learn and you live and you experience. And, it's not life or death, and there is a journey to all of it. And it's like youth soccer, for example. Right? When you play youth soccer and you see some really skilled kids, but, if they play certain positions, they hardly ever touch the ball. Like they're not really ever exposed all that much.
Right.
So are they really that elite and great? Or, in time, will that kind of show up with their speed and their skill and post-puberty right? There's a journey to it. I say that because guard, there are a lot of plays where it just doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah, he got beat, but the ball's out. Or he kind of got a guy in a double team, but how much movement do they really create? I mean, I don't know. If there's 60 plays, how many times is he totally isolated on an island and you got to make this block and you got to, there's a lot of gray. There's a lot of gray area there. Quarterback, there is no gray. Quarterback, every single snap, the ball is in your hands.
That's a good point.
Maybe on, 40, 25 of them, they're called run plays. But even in those, there can be run checks to it and you get into the right play. You get in and out of the right call. So, maybe there's 10 or 15. Peyton used to always say this. Can I just have some breathers? Does every single play got to be a check with me and I got to do all these things? Or can I just have a call it and run it and just toss the ball, right? And just kind of take a breath every once in a while. And quarterback's an unbelievably demanding position. And all of the conversation in the eye will be on him in these big moments.
Yep.
And that's what you sign up for, and that's why you make $35 million bucks a year.
Worth noting also that Bradford just had one of his best games on the other side of this, on the right guard side, right? I mean, Macdonald took the time yesterday to say he graded out as their best lineman. Hawk blogger, our friend Brian Nemhauser, spent a lot of time yesterday kind of going through a lot of the positives. And it's interesting. He kind of gave the... Now, look, again, we've gone through Pro Football Focus. Who knows what to believe? But looking at the Pro Football Focus pass block grades by weeks, it is all over the map. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 weeks where it's over 70%. And there are, 2 weeks where it's under 10% and 4 where it's under 30%. And then everything else. I mean, it is like an up and down, like your favorite sine, cosine, tangent wave.
Cosine, cosine.
The secant and the cosecant and all of it.
Because that's a lot of matchup dependent for Mr. Bradford. Like if he's going to face teams with a lot of movement and there's a lot of pre and post snap processing and athleticism and people that can bend and move, he's going to struggle.
But it's also worth noting that 4 of his 6 best weeks, Brock, are the last 6 weeks. His 4 best, I should have said it better. His 4 best performances, according to this, are in the last 6 weeks. And in the last 6 weeks, the worst grade he's got is a 45. The other is a 51. And then all the others are 79 or above. So, I mean, I think that's worth noting that he's getting better. And I have to imagine, as much as, you got people on the internet making fun of him and all that, the idea of competition does seem to affect him more than others. In the beginning of the year when he was battling for that job, he won the job. When it looked like he might have a threat as Christian Haynes was going to be reactivated, and there's a lot of talk about his performance, it started to get better. Now Jalen Sundell is on the verge of coming back, and there's some talk that maybe he could play some right guard. And again, you see some improvement. Maybe he's just a guy that needs to be motivated with his job, holding his job in front of him.
And I think he's one of these guys that is going to be matchup dependent. There's just going to be, and that's a lot of linemen in this league. He's not independent in that way, right? There are very few and most of the ones that aren't matchup dependent were first-round picks, like Gray Zabel, like Charles Cross, right? And even, Abe Lucas was a third rounder, and had he been in a different collegiate system and not the air raid doing one thing all the time, I think he could have been a first or second round pick because of his traits. A lot of other guys will be dependent on the matchup, and that's going to come into play here with Sundell. He can move. There's no question in my mind. You want to get to the second level, you want to run some more, outside run and do all those things, screen and get into space. He's going to be much better than Bradford. But if he's got to face a war daddy inside that's going to get up under his pads, and he's got to try to anchor against some of those rushes you're going to see from the Rams, it's going to be hard. Yeah. It's going to be hard for him with his size to do some of that. So, yeah, nice little give and take and fun conversation that brain trust on the offensive line and Mr. Macdonald will have in the weeks ahead.
We get some great numbers here on blowouts, Brock, which I think will be fun to play for Daniel Jeremiah, who's going to join us here in about 20 minutes. Still hoping to talk to our friend Jeff Passan at 9:30. There's a lot going on this morning, so stay with us. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Looking for a gap. He's got one. He's off to the races. Look out. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Make it back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Seahawks, but they're just getting started.
We building a brotherhood. That's what it's about.
It's the Seahawks' quest to win the NFC West.
Honestly, we got a lot of special dudes on this team.
Placement, and it's blocked.
Yes.
Guess who? It's Eamon Warren. Yeah, guess who?
And it's only on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Just a couple weeks away now from Christmas, and what a time. What a time to be alive. I like to say also what a time for fitness gifts for your friends, family, or maybe even for yourself this time around. Hey, Brock Heward here, and from weight sets and accessories to the complete home gym, my friends at Top Fitness is the place to go shop. And right now, they've got certified, pre-owned Precor commercial treadmills. This is really cool. Certified, pre-owned Precor commercial treadmills, the same models you see in hotels and clubs typically sell. Brand new for over $13,000. They're available and ready for this. Ready for $3,300. It's almost $10,000 off. They look like new, perform like new, and come with a full warranty. So don't settle for a cheap, lightweight treadmill when you can get a deal this good. And as always, you get free delivery and assembly on those Precor treadmills, ellipticals, and exercise bikes. So no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. You can go visit them at Tukwila, Linwood, or Bellevue, or simply go to topfitness.com for all of the fitness enthusiasts on your holiday list. Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off. Because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Bump here. Seattle Youth Men's Basketball is hosting big games at Climate Pledge. Come see Washington State, and Gonzaga. Next game is December 19th against UW. Tickets as low as $20. Grab your tickets at goseattleU.com/tickets. Red Hawks rising.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair. The very next day, Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs at Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
The offensive line has to make the offense go.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
It's about stacking those days, stacking those weeks.
On Seattle Sports.
It's here, the Light the World giving machines at the Alderwood and South Hill malls. With a swipe of your credit card, donate a chicken, school supplies, meals, and more. Go to givingmachinewa.org.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
It's Toyota-thon. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are providing you with large savings and the widest selection of inventory on Toyota favorites like the 2026 Corolla LE, leasing at $219 a month for 39 months with $29.99 due at signing. The Camry LE at 4.99% APR for 72 months, and the Prius leasing at $305 a month for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. It's Toyota-thon at ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered.
Offers valid till January 5th, 2026. Excludes taxes, titles, licenses, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Models 1-852-255-2163.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Health, Brock, pretty important this time of year. Have you been kind of blown away by the health of the Seahawks this year? I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I know how that can go. And you heard Mike Macdonald knocking on wood yesterday at the end of our conversation. And it's not like they've been 100%. But they have managed to avoid some of the disasters that have befallen other teams, and we're going to get to the Colts here in just a moment. The one sort of bad news this week is that Elijah Arroyo's probably out.
Elijah's got a knee, just working through it right now, but I'd say that this week's probably in jeopardy for him.
Okay, but Nicky Manwari checked out fine. Jalen Sundell's going to return this week. I thought Andrew Whitworth summed this all up very well with Rich Eisen.
The parity of the year of this season is higher than ever, and it's really truly to me the hottest teams have a chance to go win a Super Bowl when we get to the end of this season, we get to the playoffs. Who can get hot at the right time and who's healthy, they got just as much a shot as anybody, because I think everybody has their warts and everybody's kind of shown us that there's a pretty even playing field when everybody plays their best. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see the rest of this season unfold.
And those two things are directly tied to one another at every level. Witnessed it at the high school level, certainly true at the collegiate level of like who is available. At the collegiate level, like who wants to even play in any of these bowl games and is still on the team that they were on just a few weeks prior. And then in the NFL, Salk, it's a war of attrition. We see it every single year. We saw it in the heyday with the Seahawks. I will still contend beyond even the play call. I think they win that Super Bowl. They're up 14, and in control of that game when Cliff Avrill's healthy and Jeremy Lane and the rest of those pieces. And when they get knocked out, it really affected that game.
No
so
doubt.
I think the hotness is very much connected to the healthiness of your club.
No doubt. Seahawks, speaking of hockey, up to number 3 in the ESPN Power Rankings. Started the year at 17. We're actually at 20 after the loss to the Niners, so that's pretty impressive. The Colts, we mentioned it, starting to get desperate, so much so that Phillip Rivers is in Indy this week for a workout, could be on the practice squad by the end of the day. Here's Shane Steichen on what you do when you got multiple injuries at quarterback.
I think you got to be creative as an offensive staff and try to find ways to put your guys in position and do what the quarterback, whoever's out there, put them in position to be successful. And I think everyone needs to rally around that player. And you go out and play great in all 3 phases, and everyone believes in each other to go put out a solid performance each and every week.
You know, we talked to Mike Macdonald about the Colts yesterday, and I thought it was very genuine the way he spoke about Shane Steichen.
Oh, he's really good now. People in the football circles,
They
he's
seem
kind
to
of
love
nerdy.
him,
He
huh?
doesn't have a great presence. He's, you wouldn't see him walking on the street and have any idea who he is versus Harbaugh or Sean Payton. But as far as a schemer and a planner and a play caller and an innovator, he is way, way up there. Teams he's been on, quarterbacks he's coached have had answers, and he will have more answers than, say, a Brosmer did a couple weeks ago.
You would almost have to. We'll see what happens whether or not 44-year-old Phillip Rivers ends up on the team this week.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Remember what happened to me when I think I was 44 or darn close to it, maybe even a little younger.
44.
And John Kidna asked me to come down and practice against the Lincoln Abes because they were facing a lefty in the playoffs. And I put cleats on and I practiced. And then my whole leg swelled up like with edema because the cleats on the turf. I had like this squish. I had kinkles with a squishiness. I could like push like, what in the heck is happening to me? And Dr. Schaup's like, what'd you do? I was like, what do you mean what'd I do? What'd you do? Well, I practice with cleats. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, not a
That was
surprise.
good.
Not a surprise. All right, winter meetings have been quiet, very quiet. Hopefully something starts getting done today.
Something did happen, by the way, during break. Mr. Passan broke the news.
Oh, I missed it. I was busy.
Yep,
What
you were
happened?
busy. Kyle Schwarber, 5 years, $150 million.
Jeez.
To return to the Phillies. 30 per. To say right there where he's hit lots of home runs.
It's a lot of money for a DH, isn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot of money. But you know what? Kyle Schwarber's a winning player, so I don't know. Maybe it's the right thing to do. He's won a couple World Series. He certainly helped them in Philly. But yeah, all right. I mean, that's probably where he should be. Just stay there in Philly. He's a pretty good fit there. So, all right. So that's sort of maybe the first domino, and maybe that starts to make some of the others fall. The Mariners had their move, right? And then we heard Adam Jude had the report yesterday of Dipoto and Hollander. And I like this, saying that the guy they got back and Jose Ferrer, do we know how to pronounce it? Ferrer?
Mike Ferrari?
I don't know. I
Before
wish
news?
I knew. But their top bullpen target of the offseason, that was the guy they wanted. And so good for them for going out to get him. Is something bigger coming for the Mariners? I still think it's a possibility. Morosi said so yesterday.
Another team involved used to have Ketel Marte, the Seattle Mariners. And the Mariners are very much involved in this infield trade market between Marte and also Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. So you think about Marte, Donovan, perhaps even Jake Cronenworth of the San Diego Padres. That area of the marketplace, second base trades, could mature a little more quickly than a lot of other areas of the offensive market, because I think so many of the corner bats, the big-time power bats, Lauren, they're all waiting on Tucker and Schwarber and to some extent Alonso before that side of the market really breaks free. Those infielder trades that I mentioned, Marte, Donovan, Cronenworth, they could actually happen in the coming days.
By the way, more breaking news as we're talking. Edwin Diaz is going to be a Dodger, Brock. Edwin Diaz, just what they needed.
Seems about right.
One of the best relievers
On a
in
deferred deal,
baseball.
6 years, $900 million. Great.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Sounds about right, Brock. Sounds about
By the way, I
right.
just listened to a highlight. They said Ferrer.
Ferrer.
Ferrer. Yeah, I think it is Ferrer.
Jose Ferrer. Thank you, Maura. I want to make
Way to
sure I
go,
get
Maura.
that right. Kraken lose 4-1. They were awful. Just awful.
This is not good, man.
No, it's really
The
bad.
skates are coming off, Salk.
They are. I mean, and this is sort of what we expected them to be this year. It was a bit of an aberration as they won a bunch of close games.
They've had some injuries, too.
They have.
Quite honestly, when you look
But
at some of
so-
they didn't have much margin.
Here's Lane Lambert.
I thought we started the game slowly, which, when you've lost 4 in a row and then, I haven't won a game in 5, that's disappointing to me. I thought our goaltender was outstanding tonight. Gave us a chance to win. I would agree with his assessment that we need more from everybody. We have to have everybody playing well, and we just can't afford to have any passengers. And I didn't think everyone brought their best tonight.
I mean, that's a couple times that's happened now in this 5-game losing streak. So we'll see what happens next. And also waiting to see what happens for Wazoo. I've liked Bumpus's thought on Rob Akey. And Bump did say, by the way, you don't just apply for the Coug job. We did get a text from Matt in Oregon who says, no, you don't apply for the Cougs job. You buy a 30-pack of Busch Light and you just find a crimson ticket inside. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Where you really find a
That's with the golden ticket.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Charles.
Hey, Charles, you know what a Bapple is?
A Bapple? I don't think I have I don't think I've ever heard of
Busch
Bapple.
Light flavored with apple.
Oh, I get it now.
It's a very select. And when it comes to Pullman, from what I understand, people wait out in their tents for that Busch Light truck when they know that Bapple
is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe you find that crimson ticket.
So when was the last time you had a Busch Light?
Probably been a couple years.
Couple years?
Yeah, my cheap beer of choice was generally Natty Ice. So, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it, why not go the whole hog? That's everything you need to know.
Maura, when's the last time you had a Busch Light?
Oh, yeah. Not much of a beer drinker.
No.
Every now and then. But more of like a Corona or something. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot more OE than any of that, to be honest, Brock.
I'm not that much of a beer drinker either.
No.
No.
Yeah. Much more of a much more of a
You had
40
an
guy.
old English. Don't tell me you drank Old Englishes, Salk.
How
please.
many? Don't tell you I drank them, or don't tell you I drank multiples in a night. Like let's
That's really
let's go to break and bring Daniel Jeremiah back into this conversation. I got a very important question to ask DJ next on Brock and Salk.
Looking for a gap. He's got one. He's off to the races. Look out. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Make it back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Seahawks, but they're just getting started.
We building a brotherhood. That's what it's about.
It's the Seahawks' quest to win the NFC West.
Honestly, we got a lot of special dudes on this team.
Placement, and it's blocked.
Yes.
Guess who? It's Eamon Warren. Yeah, guess who?
And it's only on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on, like a close friend who never lies. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through December 21st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Oki Golf Platinum Players Card is $50 off with the Friends and Family Holiday Discount. Get 7 prepaid rounds and discounted guest passes at every public Oki golf course. Don't miss your chance. Visit OkiGolf.com before December 31st.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown, Seahawks! Ken Walker III. Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, a new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
He's Daniel Jeremiah.
I think he's really, really good.
And he's with Brock and Salk every week during the NFL season.
He could win an MVP.
Daniel's really smart. Daniel's probably the best in the business.
It's time for the Daniel Jeremiah Show, presented by Marquee Data.
All right, while we're waiting on DJ, hopefully he will be with us soon, Brock. We got a lot of texts coming in about the Bapple to Natty Ice to mostly about OE. Rye from Spokane, 40s are the bomb, right, Mike? Well, they were. I mean, like I'm now in my 40s, so I will say that actual 40s are no longer a big part of my life.
Would it surprise you that I've never had an Old English?
Oh, really?
No,
That's
never tried it.
Yeah, Alex and Monroe, OE 800, high gravity malt liquor. I was a member of that club back in the day. 40s of OE, Salk. I take back much disrespect sent your way. You are much more cultured than I realized. Well, that's not right. Wow. Homer in Alaska. Has anyone in the studio ever played Edward 40 Hands? Yes. Well, you strap a 40 of OE to each hand, and you don't get to take them off until you finish both of them.
I've heard of the Edward 40 Hands. That's kind of a parody to Edward Scissorhands.
That's right.
Played by Johnny Depp.
Yeah, so you tape a couple 40s to your hands, and you can't take them off until they're done. It's only 80 ounces of malt liquor. It's not disgusting at all. And then finally, Maura orders 2 fingers of scotch, but that's really a quad shot for her because of the length of the finger. See, that is a gratuitous shot, Maura. You shouldn't have to take that kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on with DJ. Maybe he's.
I do. Late night, unfortunately, with the Monday night game. I did text him. We'll see if he's
you think he slept through?
I'm going to guess he's still possibly sleeping.
Okay, so if that's the case, can we make him sing? Like, do we have that kind of a relationship with DJ where we can make him sing if and when we finally get him this morning? Oh, Brock's trying to see his phone, but he can't read the print. It's too small. So he can't tell whether or not DJ is
No, he hasn't. No, I just said, are you good, boss?
Okay.
And I'm gonna think maybe in 10 minutes he's gonna wake up and be in a total frantic.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
What have I done?
Blew that.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have thought Monday night, late night, back to the house, probably after midnight, because that game was in LA and he drives and traffic, who knows? So I'm going to guess, yes, whenever he wakes up and looks at his phone, he's going to be like,
oops. 570 saying, Salk, do you remember Crazy Horse? That was OE's Stronger, Angrier Brother. I do. Never a big part of that. Or King Cobra was the other, Mickey's. There are a lot of options, but OE was always the choice. Get about 1.5 of those would really be about the right number. All right. Well, no DJ yet, Brock. So I got like a question or two for you. Okay. And then maybe we'll go around the NFL if we don't end up getting DJ and we can try to fit him in tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. Between him and Passan, everything's kind of going awry for us today. Yep. I know.
You were going to ask him about?
Well, I want to ask him about the 4 defenses, but you and I have talked about that a lot, so I kind of want to wait for him on like the Houston, Denver, Seattle Rams conversation of like what separates this group. But what about these blowouts? Call it 6, call it 7. How important is it?
I'm not putting Pittsburgh in that.
All right, so call it 6.
Yes.
Fine. I think Pittsburgh was pretty close, but okay.
Not really.
All right. All right. I mean, you and I can see that one maybe a little bit differently. But 6 blowouts. And I thought this was interesting information from Colin Cowherd yesterday. Oh, hold on. Charles, you got to turn me up here. You gotta turn my computer up, Charles. There we go.
This is the 6th time Seattle has beaten a team, may not be the last this regular season, by 14 points or more. If you look at the history of Super Bowl winners, that's the number Super Bowl teams get to. 6 ugly blowout wins. They dominate.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that number exactly. I would have thought, though, that you do distinguish yourself. And especially as the season starts to declare itself, to use a nice Macdonald word, right? That, yeah, these are the haves, these are the have-nots. This is a healthy team. This is not the healthy team. This is the team that's got a competent offense, quarterback, and vision and plan. This is one that doesn't. This is a team that is just ferocious defensively and is just too fast and too skilled and too all over you to give you any sense to breathe and have any level of life. This is a team that plays off of its home field and its noise and its chaos and its fans. So that doesn't shock me that it's that many. And we talked about the point differential yesterday of the Super Bowl team that we witnessed at over a plus 180 for the season, and the Seahawks this year plus 162. So on the path to get to that point to match the 13 champs, and even are ahead of the team that went to the Super Bowl in 14 at plus 140. So to get to those kind of differentials means you've got to lay the wood on some people.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks have absolutely done that.
Yeah, and on both sides of the ball. And yeah, I mean, getting to that number, though, interesting. And by the way, look, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, but the stage is certainly set for them to have that kind of a day. I know Indy's a much better team overall than the 2 that they just played, but the quarterback situation is so iffy for them right now. And you're at least that becomes a possibility that you could have another one of those games where you get to 7 of those. Man, that just really would be pretty impressive with a couple games to play. The other conversation, Brock, that I was going to talk a little bit with DJ about was just this whole process thing that we discussed yesterday with Mike Macdonald. And I'm not surprisingly, you and I think probably enjoyed that more than any other part of our conversation with him, is just hearing his philosophy. And he talks about process a lot more than most football people I've heard. Process is a big part of baseball, right? You have to, and I ended up talking to Mike for a moment or two about it after the show. He hadn't really thought about the game of failure thing, where if you don't focus on process, you end up gripping the bat so tight because you're so concerned with what the result is of your at bat. You've got to get a hit. You've got to hit a home run. You just can't play baseball that way. You got to focus on, did I put on a good swing? Did I swing at the right pitch? And if you do those things and the process is right, you just have to live with the result because you're not entirely in control of it. I'll tell you what else is very much like that is hockey, right? You heard it there from Lane Lambert. He didn't say, we need to put more pucks in the net. We need to score. We need to take advantage of opportunities. You got to focus on the process. You got to play hard. You got to put pucks at the net. You got to be in the right positions and then hope that the puck luck goes your way and the puck bounces to where somebody is in a good position, or you get a good deflection like Minnesota did last night and you're able to score that way. But a lot of that is process. Why did, if you were watching the game last night, what's his name? The guy who was here a couple years ago, I forget his name. He ends up getting a tip for kind of a, not fluky, but, kind of a, there's nothing Grubauer could do about it. Why? Because he put himself in front of the net, and good things happen when you go to a good place on the ice. So process is a huge part of baseball. It's a huge part of hockey. It's a big part of golf. Do you ever remember it being a big part of your coaching in football?
No, not at all. Other than the day-to-day process. Right now, I will say this, the guy that's atop college football right now, Curt Cignetti, may be the most process-driven and oriented right there with Nick Saban. I mean, Nick Saban started the whole thing. But I think for Nick Saban, it was much more about a discipline daily and a discipline in preparation and a discipline in, to not focus on the scoreboard and all of those things, but to focus on practice and what you can control each and every day of that rather than just an in particular play. But Cignetti, it's so funny. I was just listening to this yesterday. Some of the sound of him like, hey, man, every single play, success or failure, and it cannot dictate that next play. And the scoreboard cannot dictate that next call, in that next series, in that next moment.
So interesting.
And he is like the most religious. He's kind of on a different wavelength than a lot of others socially and in that preparation. And look what he's done. He's taken the most moribund program in the history of college football, top 3 ever. Losing this program's in the history of college football. Wow. And in 2 years, taking him to the number 1 seed.
Pretty incredible. Mike Macdonald, we asked him where that process-based approach started.
I don't know what the genesis is. If you just, I think it's like when you're coming up and you're hearing people talk about why they don't like things or whatever. It's like, well, what do we do that went into this that we didn't like? We needed to tackle better. Well, why? Just tackle. Well, how are we going to tackle? And so that's probably where the thought came from. Or you felt like sometimes when you're coming up, you felt like we made the right decision and we didn't get what we wanted, but you're like, well, why am I getting penalized? I felt like we actually did this right. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to do it that way.
You know what I hear more than anything there is just probably again, not a surprise that this is the direction I go with it, but just question everything. Yep. Question all the things you've always been told. It doesn't mean they're wrong, but they're worth questioning.
Yep.
Right? And I think that's what I get from Mike Macdonald. It can go too far.
That's the methodologies aspect of it. Not necessarily the process per se, but their methodologies. I'll say this too, behind the scenes, what we never talk about with the Seahawks, and we certainly do about the Mariners, and we did earlier today in that conversation about baseball, small market, big market, next level numbers. You know what the Seahawks are doing more than they've ever done, and certainly, more than 10 years ago in their last run in Super Bowl? Using analytics. When I talk to John Schneider off the air at certain times of the year, it's like people think that I'm just the emperor making this decision. That it's just like, oh, what does John want? John seeks counsel from coaches, from management, from ownership, and ultimately from the resources all around him, including their analytics team that nobody talks about. We know some of the names of the Mariners. We know some of those guys that are doing, and gals that are doing all that work behind the scene. We don't know one name with the Seahawks because they don't want to talk about it. That's some of their methodology. That's some of the things that they feel may give them real advantage. But there is next level numbers and next level analytics and a whole team that works alongside the decision.
Figuring out how to balance that with the scouting and with some of the old school stuff. Again, questioning everything is different from throwing everything out. I was thinking about that with some of the fourth down stuff, and not just Greg Olsen, who we've talked about at times this year, who's like on a personal campaign to get teams to always go for it on fourth down. But even with Andy Reid, did you know? Were you watching the Sunday night game with Andy Reid?
A little bit, yeah. When he went for it late.
I mean, To me, that was one of two bad fourth down decisions made this week. One was his. He went for it, inside his own 40?
Oh, yeah. I think it's just like 35.
37, 35.
Yes.
Like, come on, man. Like, that's not a smart play. I know that their defense is tough, but, you're giving them the game at that point. Your defense was also very good. Why would you give them the game in that? I thought that was an overcorrection of we used to never go for it on fourth. Now we're just going to go crazy. No, you still have to be smart about it. And I would put John Harbaugh into the same category. Interesting that it's two older coaches, but I thought their decision to go for it on 4th and 5 down by the goal line was horrendous at the end of the game. I don't know if you were watching that one.
I didn't see that one, no.
So they had what I thought was a touchdown. Moore and I were debating it yesterday. We both agreed that it looked like a touchdown for Isaiah Likely, who took 4 steps with the ball before it was knocked out, but apparently that wasn't enough. So they called it back. And then on 4th and goal from the 5, they were down 5 with about 2.5 minutes left, roughly. 2:12, 2:13, something like that. He opts to go for it. And they didn't get it. And I understand you're trying to go for the lead there, but okay, let's say you get it. Let's say you score a touchdown there and you're up 2, maybe even 3 if you go for 2. The other team's probably going to go down and kick a field goal, right? I mean, you're giving the other team, in this case, Aaron Rodgers, 2+ minutes only needing a field goal. You're still probably going to lose the game. On the other hand, if you kick, now you're down 2. And you're giving them the ball with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, which is exactly what you did. You stopped them and got another chance. But then you needed a touchdown instead of a field goal. We're becoming addicted to just going for it on 4th down. And I like that it's more aggressive. I like that they've thrown numbers at it. But just saying willy-nilly, we're just aggressive, we go for it.
No, I would say it's definitely
not smart at all.
Definitely not willy-nilly, though. I guarantee
it's becoming a lot more willy-nilly.
Well, I think it's a lot more of that book telling them and those numbers and odds telling them that this is what you should do. We certainly hear that from Mike every time. Red light, green light, yellow light, right? And I'm going to guess in those kind of bold decisions, they got to feel pretty good about it and really lean into those numbers. And they're doing that more in football than they've ever done. And Andy Reid would probably say that afterwards. Yep, the book told us this. Yep. And that book is supposed to be fluid, and that book is supposed to take in injuries and take in the circumstances of the game in real time.
It can't take in the way the game is being played. It just can't. It can't take it. And Brock, I'm a big supporter of analytical data. I think it's important to look at a lot of that stuff. I'm much bigger supporter of it in baseball than I am in football, just because there's just, as Mike said yesterday, reams and reams of more data. Here's a little bit more from Mike on the process.
If you're actually going to coach somebody, you have to coach the process. You can't say just go make the play. You got to tell them how to make the play. You got to show them how. You got to show them how to move. You got to show them what to look at. You got to train those moves. All those things that go into it have to come to life in order to get what you want. So I think it's just probably over time. And then okay, well, what kind of team do we want to have, on a day-to-day basis? And then that's probably where, everyone says process over results, but it's really your actions back that up. Your actions, your words back that up on a day-to-day basis.
Question for you, Salk.
Yeah. By the way, that's another thing I like about Mike. He backs up what he says because he does seem to really mean it. It's authentic. He's not just reading from a book on how to coach. He means it. I think that's been one of the really, really underrated aspects of his tenure so far.
You talked about your evolution from old E Scissorhands or whatever that was.
Edward 40 Hands?
Yes. We used to strap a couple 40s on.
So for those who
maybe had your smokes and your
which was more fun?
T-shirt.
Edward 40 Hands or the Century Club? Because both will ruin your night, that's for sure.
Yeah, and your next morning, maybe, and 2 days later, certainly in your late
now,
40s.
but not at age 20.
So question for you. And I shot some of this to you and more in a text last night, and some of it was watching Jim Harbaugh. Some of it's thinking back to my years of covering Jim Harbaugh at Stanford and then on to Michigan and watching him. And I didn't cover him when I was in the NFL in 2020. He was still with Michigan then, but I've probably done a dozen of his games through the years at Stanford and Michigan. Can you picture Mike Macdonald in 10 years? He's 38 right now. He's one of the youngest coaches. Mike Sando put out last night or this morning a tweet that showcased those year 2 coaches. Mike Macdonald's now 20-10. Jim Harbaugh's now 19-10. They're the only two with a winning record. Dan Quinn's now 15-15. Raheem's 12-18. Canales 12-18, and the 3-1s and 1.5s and done.
That's a little misleading. Canales took over an awful situation and has it significantly better 2 years later.
They're 7-6.
You got to give him a little bit of credit.
Absolutely.
Also, I think it's worth noting that Mike Vrabel was sort of in that process, but didn't get hired. And now a year later has his team at 10-2, 11-2, whatever it is. So I don't know. I get it, but I think that's a little.
Figures don't lie, liars figure.
That's
you can spin these all around.
Right.
I get it.
Okay.
Yep.
But still,
but you also had
noting.
Callahan was 4-19 and fired. Mayo was 4-13 and fired, and
Raheem Morris is probably going to get fired if they lose on Thursday.
Yep, Pierce was 4-13 and fired, and yes, and a bunch of those are pretty chaotic organization. There's more to the story, but the bottom line is he's 20-10 and Harbaugh's 19-10. Can you picture Mike Macdonald in 10 years? Is we get this opportunity with him at 38, still 30 games into his head coaching career.
Yes, I
can.
can
you picture him in 10 years?
Yes.
And there's going to be more Harbaugh, right? He's gonna morph a little more.
My hope is that there's more Harbaugh and John, really more than Jim.
Mm-hmm.
My fear is there's going to be more Belichick.
Oh, you think Belichick was more enlightening his first couple years in Cleveland than he was? You think so?
Oh, absolutely was. Yeah, I mean, I know so. I mean, that whole thing didn't really start until after he really started winning and all. Like, he wasn't always quite so antagonistic. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's a fair question. I think honestly. And I don't know as much.
Are you talking about what you want him to be more like in an interview or on the field? Because being like Belichick wouldn't be that bad of a thing on the field.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. No.
Okay.
No, I just meant
I
personality-wise.
don't think the fans care about what he'll be like in an interview with you.
Well, those fans don't have to interview him every week. I'm really hoping this doesn't turn into a Bill Belichick situation because I did that for a year, and I would like to never, ever go back to that. I don't know John's personality as well, Brock, but he strikes me anyway as being more like John than Jim.
Yeah. That's probably fair, but I
know
think
he
we're
worked for both of them, but he does strike me in personality as being much more like John than Jim.
It is really where
Jim's
those
pretty unique.
two, yes, but where those two are a lot like their father, Jack, who is a lifer in coaching as well. And I was looking at when Jim Harbaugh was 38, by the way, when Jim Harbaugh was 38, he was finishing his last year playing in the NFL.
Comeback?
And then the following year, he went right into coaching. Like he just knew he wanted to go right from playing right into coaching, and this was going to be his path. So at 38, he was just finishing up, and I don't even remember what team he was with. It was not the Colts. It was some other random team that he was with in his final year, didn't really play before he moved into coaching. And to kind of think where he was then and where he is now, and then when Mike Macdonald's doing this at age 38, it does strike me. The one thing back to the methodology and the process and that answer that Mike said of, well, how are we going to teach them and why are we doing that? That is a Harbaugh. That is my years of covering him and why Jim has been so good everywhere he's been. Because he's a little more outside the box, and obviously his communication is very distinct. But at the end of it, you know what he will ask? Well, why are we doing that? How are we doing that? Don't just criticize the player. Don't just hate on the player. He can't play. No, give him the best chance to play. Give him the best chance to be put in the position. Give him the best new methodologies and teaching and coaching and in new drills and whatever we got to do, right, to answer those how and whys. And I think a lot of these other coaches on this list that were one and dones or whatever, I don't think they've got that kind of depth.
Trivia question for you.
Sure.
For which team did Jim Harbaugh play the most games?
The Bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
89, and not particularly close. I mean, I thought of him as a Bear because he was there with McMahon and Tom Zach, and he's the one they let go. But, yeah, he played more games with the Bears than anyone else. And it was only 4 years in Indy.
Yep.
1 year in Baltimore, which I got to tell you, I remember zero of. And then 2 years at the end, Brock, with? The San Diego Superchargers.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, the Charger in 99 and 2000.
Played against him in 99.
Went 6-6 in 99. Unfortunately, went 0-5 in 2000, and I think that was the end of Jim Harbaugh, the coach, or the player before he got into coaching. Yeah, there's no doubt Macdonald comes from that tree, and I think him asking the whys is a really important part of how he gets to where he is. It's why you've called him a disruptor over and over again. It's why he's such an interesting counter to Sean McVay and the others in this division. I mean, and it's why this defense is flying and why this team is playing much better complementary ball than they were a year ago. Now, all of that being said, Brock, you're going to keep coming back to this same question over and over again. And I'll play you the sound here from I have it from John Middlecoff. Yeah, and this question's not going away.
If I had to say who has the best, I think the Niners offense is pretty good and the Rams offense is really good, right? Seattle's defense, to me, the Rams DBs, it's hard to trust, when you get in certain moments. Seattle's defense, top to bottom, they might have the best defensive backfield right there with Denver in the league. I might still have Seattle 1. The only reason you kind of hesitate is I do trust Stafford a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's like Eli couldn't do it till he did it. Some of these guys, I do think Dak Prescott is good enough to win a Super Bowl, but you'd be like, well, he's been awful in the playoffs. True. Some guys like James Harden clearly melts down. He has a long history. Maybe that is Dak. Maybe he'll just always melt down in these playoff games. But I also see him in big normal games look good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
49ers offense really good, huh? 16th in the league in scoring. Right? Just perception reality. Not Christian McCaffrey. And they're 16th in the league in scoring. You're second in the league in scoring. Touchdown more than them over the course of this season. And it's not that Brock Purdy's been any better than Mac Jones was now that he's back in there and settled it down. So, yeah, it's a perception. That's a perception. That Sam's just – even though Sam, and you saw the graphic in the game the other day, right? Who has won more games back-to-back years in two different organizations? Anybody in the history of the NFL?
What does that stat mean, by the way?
It means he won in one place, and then he went somewhere else and won again.
I know, but
like Tom Brady did. He won in New England, and then he went to Tampa Bay and won. You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that's representative of Sam's ability?
No,
I do.
I think that's a made-up stat. I like Sam, but that's a made-up stat.
Really?
Sorry, that one. Some of the other ones I think are very meaningful, and there's a lot of ways to tell the Sam Darnold story about how much better he's been than the perception. That one did not. I saw that one, and I immediately was like, yeah, and? that one did not do it for me. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. I don't know what happened to DJ. He's out.
He's still sleeping.
Hopefully, we're going to talk to Passan here in about a half hour or so. We do have Answer the Question Jerk today, which should be fun, so you guys can start texting them in. 866-979-3776. It's a couple days away from Here's the Thing, so if you have thoughts that you'd like to leave us messages, you can download the app and leave us a message for Here's the Thing. We'll be right back on Brock and Salk.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join the stations of Bonneville, Seattle, and Treehouse for the 37th year of Holiday Magic, helping provide holiday gifts and year-long support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide. Wednesday, December 10th. Over the 37 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
It's Toyota-thon. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are providing you with large savings and the widest selection of inventory on Toyota favorites like the 2026 Corolla LE, leasing at $219 a month for 39 months with $29.99 due at signing. The Camry LE at 4.99% APR for 72 months, and the Prius leasing at $305 a month for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. It's Toyota-thon at ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered.
Offer valid till January 5th, 2026. Excludes taxes, titles, licenses, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Models 1-852-255-2163.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry and dream engagement ring to be nothing short of perfect, no matter the price. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to do you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! Some funny texts, not surprisingly. I'm sorry, did Brock just say fingers don't lie, liars finger? No, figures. It's not a Mora thing. It's figures. Yeah, come on. Salk is dead on. I already hear a little too much Bill in Mike. Yeah, I mean, they occasionally do have some similar tone of voice. There's no doubt. 570. Never did Edward 40 hands, but we used to do the power hour. Shot of beer every minute for an hour. Doesn't sound like much. Right, but the Century Club is that, but for 100 minutes. So take the power hour and then add 40 more minutes to it.
No, let's not talk about blood poisoning. Let's not do that.
I don't know. It was pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty fun. Just be careful where you pee later that night. All right. Let's go around the NFL. Let's do that before we talk to Passan here at 9:30. Maura, what do we got today?
Well, the object of Salk's off-season affection, Trey Hendrickson, is likely done playing for this year. He will undergo core muscle surgery that will likely end his season, according to Adam Schefter. The injury caused him to miss the last 5 games. Through 7 games this season, he has 4 sacks, 16 tackles, and 1 forced fumble.
Yeah, didn't do a lot. Didn't do a lot. Injury, a big part of that. Team struggle, a big part of that. And you know what? Seahawks got it right. DeMarcus Lawrence was infinitely better than Trey Hendrickson this season. And the money they spent there was much more wisely spent than it would have been on a 1 year with Trey Hendrickson. Give him credit.
The Hendrickson thing was after DeMarcus Lawrence, though.
I know, because we didn't know what they knew. That D-Law had this kind of
year. Like, I don't know. I'm not entirely there with you. I'm not going to let this one die.
It's okay. You can admit it now.
No, I'm not. I like. That's what he did in Cincinnati in that system and that
I don't know what his role and fit would have been on this defense now, looking at all of it.
Well, I mean, I think the idea at the time was you'd probably give up someone like Boye Mafe in a deal like that.
Mm-hmm.
Boy's been fine. What if Trey Hendrickson was
and he's
great?
Old, he gets hurt, he tears core muscle, you don't get anything from him.
Maybe he comes here, he rotates in the way Boye Mafe has.
Made the right decision.
No, I'm not going to do that because that's not true. They might have been the right decision. Certainly hasn't been the wrong decision. But you don't know what he would have done here.
Oh, shut up, Salk. Just say.
No, absolutely not going to do that. You don't know what he would have done here.
It'd have been a nothing burger. He would have got hurt.
Nope, not going to happen. No. Charles, can you turn that music down just a hair? Thank you.
All right. You brought this one up, the controversial touchdown that got reversed in the Ravens game from tight end Isaiah Likely that was called an incomplete pass. The official said he had control and both feet in, but he didn't complete the third step of, quote, an act common to the game. Harbaugh was asked if he felt he got a valid explanation, and this was his answer.
Well, that's a complicated kind of a question. Like, am I comfortable? No. Do I think it needs more clarification? Yeah, it's about as clear as mud right now. That's how I feel about it.
It's clear as mud.
Clear as mud.
I think that's how we all feel about what constitutes a catch and what doesn't.
Thankfully, it doesn't come up quite as much as it used to.
No, that's true.
And they try to kind of give the benefit of the doubt. Sitting in on the meetings over the years and listening to Mike Pereira and learning from him, I think that has been some of the impetus is, hey, if it's close, especially with contact to the ground and the guy's hands underneath it, it could still hit the ground as long as it doesn't move. Trying to give the benefit of the doubt that way to it being a catch.
Mm-hmm.
But, that third step common to football is just the kind of black and white rule of it. And
he took 4 steps.
Way, well,
and then they called it incomplete.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. That's
so let me guess. You were rooting for Aaron Rodgers to lose.
I mean, yes.
And Lamar Jackson.
And I always root for. Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm biased in that one. I'm not. I have no problems admitting that. But he took 4 steps. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, and Pereira was right on this one. They got it wrong in the Seahawks game too. That should have been a touchdown before half. That guy came back in my estimation, and had 3 or 4 feet in bounds before he caught the touchdown.
Pushed out? I think he was pushed out. Well, he didn't entirely go out on his own. He was pushed out. So,
and if you're pushed out, you got to come back and establish.
No, if you're pushed out, you can't come back in and establish. You can't be the first to touch the ball.
Interesting.
If you go out on your own accord, then you can establish. But he never. If he was pushed out.
Are you sure about that?
That's what they said during the broadcast. I would say I'm 99% sure.
You sure?
I mean, I'll leave open the possibility, but my understanding, I didn't even know there was a way to reestablish. I thought no matter what, once you were out, you could not be the first to touch the ball. But then they said that as long as you went out on your own accord. Yeah.
Well, the Steelers were feeling pretty good after their 27-22 win over the Ravens. So, of course, we got the return of petulant Aaron Rodgers. He was asked what a win like this felt like after the week they had.
Means maybe you guys will shut the hell up for a week.
Oh, poor Aaron. The media's so hard to deal
He's
with.
saying the same thing to you, Sus.
It's so
S-U-S.
hard. It's so hard
S-U-S,
for
Sus.
him.
Shut up, Salk.
Oh, so hard for poor Aaron to deal with the mean media.
It's taken 17 years to finally get to Sus on our show.
We could go another 17. I think I'd be just fine. Yeah, more, I'm not gonna take the bait. I'm not even gonna take the bait on that from Aaron Rodgers.
Oh shoot, she can't use it tomorrow for trash takes. Sorry, Maura.
Maybe now you guys will shut the hell up. Come on, man.
All right, the Raiders were within a touchdown of the Broncos in their 24-17 loss on Sunday, but it never really felt like they had a chance. Geno Smith was sacked 4 times and exited the game in the third quarter with a cut on his hand and a shoulder injury. Kenny Pickett had to finish it out. Pete Carroll oddly decided to kick a field goal at the very end of the game, even though they were down by 10, which angered many in the betting world. Things are just not great in Las Vegas, and Pete Carroll trying to stay positive actually made me really sad.
Our guys are fighting. They're trying to keep this thing going, trying to get ourselves a chance to win a game. But there's just a couple aspects of it that we're not able to hold up. So we just got to keep working. And we know what we're playing for. We're playing for our pride to do something good and to play for the guys across from you and you know, just try to get some joy out of the game that we love. And right now it's a little bit hard to do that.
Ugh. Oh, he sounds defeated.
And they're fans, Salk. No fans.
Well, it's hard. I mean, Geno Smith has
empty
flipped most of them
seats.
off, so they probably don't want to come back.
Do you think Geno looks at the decision he made, oh, by the way, some months ago, and like, what in the heck was I thinking?
No.
Go to this disaster behind this O-line, behind this dysfunction.
No, I think
Geno
Geno
could
says,
be up in Seattle, quarterbacking.
I got paid.
Quarterbacking.
I got
Great
paid.
defense.
Well, whatever. Geno can think whatever he wants. He's the one who decided he didn't want to pay too much attention to the head coach. He wanted to go behind his back and talk to last year's guy. I mean, like, he's like, Geno can think whatever he wants, but he's fully responsible for whatever has happened and whatever is happening now. And yeah, if I were a quote unquote Raiders fan, not that those really exist in Vegas, would I be interested in coming to see my new team when the quarterback is flipping me off? Probably not. Probably not going to be like a, hey, welcoming environment. Why don't I go to the game? Maybe the quarterback will tell me how much he hates me as a fan.
Really stuck on
That sounds great. What
Raiders
a darling.
I experienced them just living in Denver. The Raiders have some pretty...
Yeah, but most of them don't live in Vegas.
I might flip some of those fans off.
They live in Oakland and L.A.
Did you guys see what Justin Herbert did at the end of the game last night when Laura Rutledge tried to interview him?
I sure did.
I don't understand. This is standard procedure. Like, you won
Is he
a
turning into
primetime
Jim?
game.
Is he turning
and
into Jim?
I don't know. Like,
What did he do
she
more?
tried to interview. You win a primetime game, and you're the quarterback of the winning team. They're going to want to talk to you. It's just part of how it works. And she went up and tried to interview him, and he kind of tried to blow past her. And she was like, "Excuse me," and then he's like, "I'm trying to celebrate with my team."
Yes.
And she's like, "I know, but can you give us just like 90 seconds here?" And so he did, but I've just never seen that before.
Never been a fan, so I
And it was about 30 seconds, and it was about 3 words per answer. And honestly, he's kind of morphing into Jim.
He's boring. He bores me. Like, as much as any decent to good quarterback in the league, I find him to be unwatchably boring. Just boring. Totally boring. I have no interest in watching him play. I'm not saying he's not good. He's obviously very good. I know that.
He played yesterday with a broken metatarsal.
Not taking a shot at the guy or how good he is or what he could do. He is just.
Which one's a metatarsal and which one's the other tarsal? What's the difference?
I don't know
between
all
the
my
head and the
tarsals.
foot? The head and the foot? You don't know your tarsals?
I'm not up on my tarsal differentiators. All right, thank you,
Charles,
Maura.
do you know the difference between the foot tarsals and the hand tarsals?
Metacarpal.
Yeah, some of
and
them are
metatarsal?
carpals, aren't they?
Metatarsals and metacarpals. Whatever.
I didn't study anatomy in college, but my grandfather is a retired doctor. If I talk to him, he'll give me the information about
there
that.
we go.
Let me know tomorrow.
Which one was Geno
Metacarpal is
sticking up at
hand
all of
and
the
metatarsal is
fans
foot.
in Vegas the other day? Was that a
Say that
metacarpal?
again,
The
say
middle
that-
metacarpal?
Maura just had the answer. If you would have shut up,
Are you going
Salk.
back to Geno Smith?
We
Get
gotta take a
over it.
break. We'll be right back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, and then hopefully Jeff Passan at 9:30. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
If I ask you a question about Nicky Manwari, are you going to start talking about all the things that he didn't do well? Because I know how you are, but it's just...
Do I do that?
You do that a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, he had a tremendous game. There's some things to clean up. Warms your heart to watch it. It's just high-level effort, and he's so close, and so I was really happy that he made that play, changed the tide of the game.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
I like that. I may every once in a while like to say, shut up, Salk. That might be a new thing. And I hope you're not saying, shut up, Brock, when it comes to First Mark Insurance. Please don't. Please listen. Take this little Tuesday morning to do what Molly and I and many of my family, my parents, so many of my friends have done. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. I know many of you are in the same boat Molly and I were in a few years ago. Like, I don't want to think about my insurance. They're good people. I want to assume they're doing right by me. And maybe they are great people, but maybe they don't have the connections that First Mark does. Here's how First Mark will go to work for you. They will analyze your current coverage, making sure, A, you're not overpaying, and B, most importantly, you got the right things covered for your family and your situation. Then they go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they've got relationship with to find you the best fit. That's it. No stress, no confusion. They're your teammate, and they spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage this complicated world of insurance. So please don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge totally free, and you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all right there. It's totally free. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate that goes to work for you.
When my windshield cracked, I called All-Star Auto Glass. All-Star's money stays in the Northwest. SafeLight sends money to shareholders in Europe. All-Star supports the local economy. If this happens to you, call All-Star Auto Glass.
It's the best time of the year, Toyota-thon. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are providing you with large savings and the widest selection of inventory on Toyota favorites like the 2025 Tacoma, leasing at just $259 a month with $39.99 due at signing. The 2026 Tundra, financing at 2.99% APR, up to 72 months, and $1,000 bonus cash. The gas and hybrid RAV4s and the Corolla Cross. It's Toyota-thon. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com. Offers valid until January 5th, 2026. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Model 7540.
It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Nugget Bills, nuggets all the way.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison.
And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
is sharing them when we cut down the Christmas tree.
We will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Honey, look. 4 calling birds.
Do they have cell phones?
Well, yeah. They're called calling birds because they have 4 lines of Cricket 5G.
How do they pay?
Oh, easy. Each line is only $25 a month.
Who are they calling?
Beats me. One sec, gotta take this.
Join Cricket Nation and get 4 lines for $25 per month each. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. New lines only. All lines must be selected. Unlimited plan fees. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. See cricketwireless.com for details.
It's here, the Light the World giving machines at the Alderwood and South Hill malls. With a swipe of your credit card, donate a chicken, school supplies, meals, and more. Go to givingmachinewa.org.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
Dayandnight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
dayandnight.net. I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Seahawks, best thing you can say about them, in addition to being 10-3, is they really have been deep and healthy all year long, and both of those things have played a really major role in their success. It's awesome. I just have been impressed with how they've worked guys in. We were talking through, Brock, all of the guys in that secondary who have played a major role, all of the depth they've had up front. A little bit of a bummer to see Brandon Peely go out right after they lost Quentin Bohanna. Right, or Bohanna, excuse me, off waivers this past week. But in general, especially as you get Jaron Reed back,
What happened to Peely?
I don't know. He left the game. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily a huge deal, but he was one of the guys that might be a problem. Elijah Arroyo is going to miss this week. Nick Eamon-Warry looked like he was getting his hand checked out.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since he went back in the game, so I'm assuming that he's okay. So I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, Mike Macdonald going with the don't ask, don't tell policy on whether or not Nick Eamon-Warry hurt his hand, and then Jalen Sundell's going to return.
Yeah, Jalen should be he should be back this week. Yeah.
I'll ask you again, is he going to practice at Garter Center?
We'll see.
How do you take that?
You know what else was really cool? But it's going to be a wait and see. And we talked about that. Just some of the different things that they offer. One's a power hitter, one's an on-base guy. What do you want for different matchups versus different people and the plan and all that good stuff? You know what else was really cool coming out of that game?
Yeah.
And I found myself gravitating to this. And I know you like this, and Brady Henderson posted every week, is the number of snaps played.
Mm-hmm.
How about when we talked about Jordan Love, and I asked Mike yesterday about him playing 20 snaps and how great that was? How about DeMarcus Lawrence only played 28 and Leonard only played 36?
Yeah, I mean, they took those guys out late.
You want to keep your horses fresh?
Yeah.
You want them to post when it matters down the stretch of the season. You get your D lineman. Actually, Murphy played the most. I think he was at 50 or so snaps, but Leonard 36, D Law 28. That is a winning formula over the long term to keep those big guys healthy too.
Meanwhile, the Colts are not healthy, especially at the quarterback spot. Daniel Jones done for the year. Anthony Richardson as well. Riley Leonard is their starter. Now, he's got a grade 1 PCL strain, so we'll see what happens there. Brett Rippon, Brock, not an NFL quarterback. Mm-hmm. So they're reportedly going to the pen. They're calling in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who could be on their practice squad by the end of the day today. He'd be available to play if they wanted to elevate him. I got a hard time imagining that could happen that quickly, but we'll see.
He's been coaching high school football down in Bama.
So I'm sure he's in great shape.
He's got 11 kids. He's chasing around.
Yeah.
Don't diminish
He's
him.
a grandfather. He's literally a grandfather.
Yeah, I saw that
Has a
today.
grandfather ever played quarterback in the NFL? Started a game as a grandfather.
We're just going to go to that. Next.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Sometimes you got to eat it, Brock. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't say everything that's on your mind. Quiet start to the winter meetings until today. Kyle Schwarber does sign a huge deal to stay in Philadelphia. Old friend Edwin Diaz going to go to the Dodgers. The Mariners, they made their move for the reliever, but now kind of waiting. And is there a really big move in their future? We're going to talk to Jeff Passan coming up here in about 10 minutes and get a sense of what's been going on at the winter meetings. They've been linked to Ketel Marte. They've been linked to second baseman Brandon Donovan. I'm still a little intrigued by Brandon Lau, even though I think the strikeouts are probably going to be problematic for them, as is the defense. But, if Jorge Polanco isn't back, you're going to have to do something else to add some more offense.
So I'm trying to wrap my arms around Marte. I'm trying to. And I understand the impact. And the WRC plus, by the way, that little number of the last 3-4 years, elite.
Elite.
I mean, elite. Ohtani, Judge, like elite 149, 49% better than everybody else. Trying to wrap my arms around it. And I'm not even talking about the stuff last year. Just the way the Mariners go about their business. This would be so different than anything they've done. To invest this kind of money into somebody in their 30s, 32 through 38.
Is it that much money? I mean, he's not making...
It's almost $100 million, yes.
But over 6 years.
So?
I mean, it's less than 20 a year.
You're on the hook for that in his 30s, age 36, 37, 38
But you
years.
are at a point, Brock, well, we can discuss it with Passan. To me, you're at a point where you need something to make you better. Little moves they don't make you better enough. You are at a point where you got to get over the top, and you've got a really good floor. So if you're going to do anything, it can't be for, just so-so players. You got to go after guys that are going to move the needle. Otherwise, you'd be better off playing some of your young guys. Yeah, I get it.
No, I understand it. Hey, I get it. I'd be doing backflips.
You can't get it. I get it.
I get it.
We can't both get it. Not at the same time.
But don't tell me it wouldn't be outside the realm of something they haven't done in 10 years.
Obviously true. There's no doubt. It would be very different from a lot of the other moves they've made.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Pack and lose. Jalen Hurts was terrible last night. Philly loses. Wazoo can't find a coach.
Hurts had 2 picks.
Bump doesn't want it.
12 games of the year. He had 4 last night.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes guys have 4 picks.
Bumpus doesn't want the job?
No, he said he's not applying for it.
I didn't hear that.
Well,
That's what I heard.
No, he did. He said he didn't want it. It's in there. He literally said he didn't want it. Yeah, here, listen.
Cougs, we need somebody who has been a Coug. We need someone who looks at the Palouse as home and not just a pit stop.
Are you submitting yourself as head coach?
I'm not. I've been contacted. People just hit me up all the time, like, Bob, apply for the job. You don't just apply for the WSU job.
He didn't want that job.
Just apply.
But he did mention Rob Akey as a possibility. Maybe that would be a good direction. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here in the Brock.
I looked it up. It says that Brett Favre with the Vikings was the first grandpa to play at quarterback.
There you go. Wow.
Maura, you got answers. And what did you say about tarsals versus carpals?
I believe it said tarsals were feet and carpals were hands.
Yeah. Oh, carpals were hands. Yeah, carpal tunnel. That makes
carpal
sense.
tunnel.
Yeah, I read the text line too, and that sort of answers all of our questions.
Did you read some of the other fun stuff on the text line? Salk, you've been winning me over lately, but there's a lot of trash takes coming out right now. A guy wanting to celebrate with his team is very much okay with me. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, whatever, man. Salk, you're doing a really great job today. You've gotten me to engage with the show more than I normally would. You're great at what you do. Oh, thank you. That's nice.
Wow.
Even though I love you even maybe more when you kind of piss me off. Well, I guess I'm doing my job then. 570 says, I can't believe it took 15 years for Brock to say, shut up, Salk. And 951 also saying Salk is an idiot. I can't listen to him anymore. He's an idiot and should be replaced. He brings Brock down. I'm switching stations. So
What do you think about that, Charles? Is that too mean?
Charles, is that over the line?
Oh boy, I think that's a bit too much because we got to let our audience be engaging here to us.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate that. Well, we're going to engage with one of the very, very best. Nice of Jeff Passan to agree to come on with us with everything going on at the winter meetings. He will join us. We'll talk Mariners. We'll talk baseball next. All right, I can do that. Let me talk to you guys about losing weight. This is a good time to do it. We are right now at the end of the year. It's easy to start pushing things off and thinking about, it's New Year's. Like, I'll just start doing everything in January. I recommend starting now because there are in-between weeks, and you can still have fun at Christmas and New Year's and all that. But take the $300 off right now at Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. That's their biggest sale of the year. You start the plan now, and then you really get going once you get over the hump of the holidays. The plan works because it's easy, it's simple, it's very healthy, and as I said, right now, $300 off, which is great. But it's all real food that you buy at the grocery store. No problem, no pills, no injections, nothing like that. Start it off with just a 15-minute phone call. You can schedule yours right now at eastsideweightlossklinik.com. That's eastsideweightlossklinik.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Bump here. Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting big games at Climate Pledge. Come see Washington State, and Gonzaga. Next game is December 19th against UW. Tickets as low as $20. Grab your tickets at goseattleu.com/tickets. Red Hawks rising.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
College basketball takes center stage in Seattle. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are back, and the rivalry is renewed when the Zags battle UCLA at Climate Pledge Arena on December 13th. Tickets are available now and selling fast. Get yours at ClimatePledgeArena.com. See you on December 13th for Gonzaga Hoops in Seattle.
Get your tickets now for December 13th at ClimatePledgeArena.com. That's ClimatePledgeArena.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and if you're somebody with joint pain, this will be of interest to you. Wednesday, December 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
Hi, it's Dave Wyman, and this live webinar education on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, knee, or even wrists and ankles, this live webinar will explain the procedure and how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar, Wednesday, December 17th.
Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, a new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Brock, this is always one of my favorite weeks of the year. Love the winter meetings. Easy for me to say. I don't have to cover them the way Jeff Passan does, where there's a lot of pressure on guys like Jeff and others in his world to break and be on top of every story. And I'm sure Jeff finds this week pretty exhausting. But for a fan and for somebody who's been there a couple of times, it is truly one of the great weeks of baseball. And one of the smart things baseball does to just bring everyone together for a few days in December and see if anything can come out of it. And today it meant the Kyle Schwarber, contract in Philly. It meant the Edwin Diaz deal with the Dodgers, and we'll see if some trades get done as well. Our buddy Jeff Passan is kind enough to take a few minutes in the middle of all of that action to join us. Jeff, we really appreciate it. How are you? How is Orlando?
Shut up, Salk.
Yeah, that's been kind of the theme of the day.
Nice.
That's been the theme of the day. Thanks, Maura, for cluing him in. Appreciate that.
Is there
Are
a
you doing
pond?
my job if I didn't?
No, not really.
Is there a pond outside of the resort there in Orlando that you get to walk at night and calm yourself like the pond in Connecticut
when he was
around the
with
trade
Ralph
deadline?
Waldo Emerson out there?
Yes. Yeah, when he was Ralph.
Yeah,
Waldo Emerson.
I do like my on-Walden ponds, but no, there's just a giant lazy river here, which is such a Disney thing to have.
Of course there is. Is this at least better than the Swan and Dolphin back in the day?
I mean, it's all the same.
Okay.
I just want the winter meetings to be in San Diego every year. Just make it easy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves San Diego. Do the GM meetings in Vegas, do the winter meetings in San Diego. I guarantee us some sunshine, make us all happy. It's not like I leave the hotel though.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I'm sequestered here essentially. It's like voluntary house arrest. It's not great.
Well, and things were really slow until today. I got a text from someone there with the team who said, "Yeah, it's really slow. The writers are all super bored." And I said, "Well, soon they'll open the bar and they'll be just fine." But then today things actually started happening. So what is the vibe as of today with a couple of deals getting done?
I think there's some surprise with Edwin Diaz's deal, not just because he went to the Dodgers, but because there was an expectation this thing could linger a little bit. And Kyle Schwarber was always going to be the one who broke the dam. A number of organizations from Baltimore to Boston to Pittsburgh to even the New York Mets were waiting on him a little bit because he was the belle of the ball. He was the big prize when it comes to sluggers, and to see him go back to Philadelphia was not a huge surprise. But to see him get 5 years at $30 million a year when he is a 33-year-old designated hitter, it was an unprecedented contract in that regard. Organizations will come up with any reason to pay a guy less. And Kyle Schwarber had his position going against him. He had his age going against him, and he defied that nevertheless because he was just so good last year and because he's so incredibly good in the clubhouse too.
All right, so now the last part doesn't necessarily work for that, but if Kyle Schwarber is worth $30 million a year for the next 5, certainly you could get away with paying $20 million a year for the next 5 or 6 to Ketel Marte, right? That seems like a bargain.
Yeah, it's not even that much. I think it's like a little bit over 18.
And the last year I think is only 11, right? Because it's a player option for like 11 and a half. Like,
correct.
That feels like a really good value. Brock and I were just sort of talking about it, and he was concerned about spending that much in a guy in his 30s. I'd sure rather spend $100 million on Ketel Marte than $50 million over the next 3 years on Jorge Polanco.
I don't disagree with you at all. The only difference is Ketel Marte is going to cost a lot in talent too. Jorge Polanco is just money at this point. And At the same time, the money is even. And if you feel like you're in that championship window and the upgrade possibility is there, and I'll say this, Ketel Marte sure would be an upgrade at second base for the Seattle Mariners. And it's a deal that they can make, because what the Diamondbacks are looking for is pitching, right? And they're looking for close to, if not big league ready pitching, but they're looking for pitching. And, the Mariners, we saw it last year among their 5 starters, Emerson Hancock, Logan Evans. Now Cade Anderson's going to move quickly. Durangelo Sanchez on his way. Ryan Sloan's not far away. If I'm the Diamondbacks right now, I'm asking for either George Kirby or Logan Gilbert. I would imagine that the Mariners would rather send out Bryce Miller or certainly Hancock or Evans or any of the minor league guys. But where they are right now, now's the time to strike. And if they have that money in their budget to cover a Ketel Marte contract, boy, put him in the middle of this lineup, and suddenly it looks even nastier than last year's, which is saying something.
So do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't think it's probable. We're still not sure whether Ketel Marte is going to get traded. I mean, the Diamondbacks want to, they're not punting. They're not starting from scratch. So taking a bat like that out of your lineup is a really tough thing to do. At the same time, other teams are understandably blocking. Ketel Marte's missed a lot of time. There were clubhouse issues in Arizona here. So I wouldn't say this is like a slam dunk thing, but man, when you have a talent like him, if you can bring him back home, what a great deal that would be for the Mariners.
Do you think getting the deals done, organization, relationship-wise, they did with the Diamondbacks to get both Naylor and Suarez, and all the work that went into that, all the evaluations, all the kind of opening of the books and the valuations of different players, do you think that would benefit them more to consummate a deal here than maybe it would with others?
Sorry, I was looking at a text and I missed your question.
No problem.
Do you have to break some news right now?
Can you try again?
I'm just kind of curious if all of the groundwork they did to get the Naylor deal done and the Suarez deal done with that organization, and kind of opening the books of the valuation and saying, okay, this is what we got, this is what you think, this is what you want, who you want. Do you think that could help consummate a deal with Marte, or is it just, all 29 other teams can do that rather quickly?
No, I think it only helps. If you have a relationship from past deals, then it's clear you have trust between the front offices. And a lot of times, trust is what gets these deals across the finish line. You go to familiar trading partners. You talk with people who you feel like you're not wasting your time with. There's only 24 hours in a day. There's only a few months in the off season. There's a finite amount of time to get something done. But I do think that while there is a slight advantage there, at the end of the day, talent talks. And whoever offers or meets Mike Hazen, the general manager of the Diamondbacks, asking price, is going to be the one who potentially gets Ketel Marte.
Jeff, what do you think is the market for Polanco? We've talked a lot about him being the pivot point for the Mariners this year. I've heard the number that $20 million a year floated around of what he might be looking for.
He's not going to get 20. He's not getting $20 million a year.
What could he get? What is that market? How serious are the Pirates? What should we know there?
I think the Pirates are pretty serious, especially now that they haven't gotten Kyle Schwarber. And they were genuinely serious there. I know everyone laughs. Like they had a good offer on the table. They were willing to go higher. Schwarber just wanted to go back to Philadelphia, and he got the number that he was looking for. But I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to be somewhere between 14 and 17 million a year for Jorge Polanco. And if there are two teams duking it out at the end, maybe it goes up $1 million a year. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-year deal, but something along the lines of 3 for 45 to 50. I think that's about right.
Brock, you interested in that?
You doing that deal?
No. Hard no. That's a hard pass for me. I would say no. Just the injuries and sort of the up and down nature of it, and just having to nurse them through it. I'm not really interested in ages 32, 33, 34 from that player. Although he fits the Mariners really well. Don't get me wrong. I love the flexibility, the switch hitting, second base, DH. He fits them great. But at that point, I would just much rather try to go after Ketel Marte, who's a better player and will be for longer and with less of an injury concern.
We could tell Marte, could be Brendan Donovan, it could be Jeff McNeil, it could be Jake Cronenworth. The thing about second base this offseason, guys, is that there are a number of abilities out there. And there are a lot of teams also that want second basemen, so I'm not suggesting it's going to be easy to land any of those guys. It's going to take something, but the trade market for second baseman is ripe right now. And you start the year, I don't know if it's a Ben Williamson, Colt Emerson platoon at third base, or if it's just Colt Emerson goes and wins the job outright in spring training, or maybe Williamson has a great spring training and they want to keep Emerson down. But there's value in having Emerson up to start the season because of the prospect promotion incentive pick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start him on the roster at the beginning of the season, feels like you got to play him every day.
Can you help me understand how these deals get done? I remember Moneyball, and I've been Centel, Jeff, so I'm very careful. And I'm not going to use movies as the way that, the portrayal of Brad Pitt on the phone during the trade deadline and with all of that stuff. But do you have an understanding through your years of being around this of how actually the deals get done there? Are there different meeting rooms for the different clubs? Are there different, how does this ultimately, when we do see some things get done, how do they get hammered out?
It used to be much more face-to-face, but now there are hardly ever face-to-face meetings. You don't see executives down in the lobby, frankly, a whole lot. You don't see them too often out at the bar late at night. I respect the ones who are out there with us. Like, good for you for hanging with the regular people. But mostly it's text and phone conversations, and they're not doing Zooms between the teams. Those are reserved for players and for free agents. In this situation, it's pretty simple. Like, you tend to know what the other team is going to want from you. And it's just a matter of getting to the point of, am I comfortable potentially doing this deal? And depending on the organization, there are some that are much better deal makers, and there are some that, frankly, whether it's getting cold feet or always trying to push for a little bit more at the end, have trouble closing a deal. So it all just depends on the teams that you're talking about. But in the case of Ketel Marte, I'm not breaking any news to you here. Jerry Dipoto is a deal maker, and Mike Hazen is a very pragmatic guy who has set a price, and if someone meets it, they'll make the deal.
Let's just go back to the market on a couple of these other guys, some that you mentioned and maybe one or two that you didn't, that I think are at the very least in the conversation for the Mariners. You mentioned Donovan in St. Louis. I know he's got a lot of suitors. What does it take? What is the market for Brandon Donovan?
I'm not going to say it's going to cost as much as Ketel Marte, but it's probably going to be pretty close.
Wow.
Just because in addition to being very good, he's not a hitter like Ketel Marte. I'll be clear about that. Brendan Donovan's bat is not Ketel Marte level. But Brendan Donovan plays second base. He plays left field. He plays third base. He plays a little bit of shortstop. He is a very high average, high on base, low strikeout hitter. And while, the power, it's more doubles power than home run power, but the big thing with him is you're getting 2 full seasons, and they're cheap because he is still in arbitration. Mm-hmm. So you're getting a very cost-effective player there, and that's why Chaim Bloom's going to ask for a lot from him, because a bunch of teams look at his versatility and really appreciate the fact that they can move him around at different positions, and he can hit righties and lefties, so there's no platoon issues. So if you've got another second baseman who crushes left-handed pitching, maybe you move move Donovan to left field. Mm-hmm. If you've got a left fielder who does it, then you move to second base. Like, there are just all sorts of opportunities in the lineup for Brendan Donovan, and he's going to play every day. He's going to be very good. But for the real question there is for a guy who's not a big slugger, who's never slugged over, I think 420, like 422, I think it is in an individual season. Are you really going to pay premium price for him?
What about the two older second basemen? They come in kind of different flavors, but Brandon Lau and Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Lau is, as long as he's healthy, he's really good, man. Now, he hasn't been healthy, but the two seasons where he's played more than 130 games, he's hit over 30 home runs. So he's more of an all-or-nothing type. He's going to have a low on-base percentage, but he's a guy who you can put in the 5, 6, 7 hole somewhere in there, and he's going to punish baseballs for you. Not great defensively. That's an issue. And beyond that, he's going to be a free agent after this season. Cronenworth, you have him around for a long time. Like that's the question about Jake Cronenworth. Was he going to age? He's turning 32 in January. He's got another, I think he's signed through 2030. So this would be a long-term play. And it's at $12 million a year, which is reasonable for what he produces. But he's a guy who also can move around the infield, can play some third, can play some second, can play some first. But at the end of the day, he's probably a second baseman for this team. And not great defensively, but another guy who's just very solid and much more of an on-base threat than Brandon Lau would be.
So let me just ask you this. I'm sorry to hog this, Brock, but I just wanted to kind of run through a bunch of these names. If you are Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander, and you know that you've got to get something done, soon, where are you focusing your attention? Polanco at, let's call it 14, 15, $16 million a year. Marte, Donovan, Lau, Cronenworth. I'll throw in the two right fielders or outfielders, both Jarren Duran and Stephen Kwan. Where are you focusing your attention? Who is the best fit of that group for this team? And maybe I should throw Byron Buxton in there as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Buxton's going anywhere. So we'll take that one off. I think if you're the Seattle Mariners right now, you are big game hunting. You are going for the best players available because you were that close to getting to the World Series last year, and the team that would just edge things out against you got beaten in the same fashion in the World Series. So you are a true, legitimate World Series contender. And I think if you get Ketel Marte, you probably go into the season as the American League favorite. Depending on what Toronto does, if they go and sign Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette, then maybe that's a little bit different story. But right now, I think the Mariners can put themselves in position to be the favorites in the American League entering the 2026 season. And so if I'm running the club with the farm system that they've got, with the ability to move a couple of pieces and really not feel it too badly, I'm doing everything I can to get the best player possible.
If Schwarber goes for $150, what does Bregman and Tucker go for? And are they in any way a possibility for the Mariners?
No, I don't think any of them. I mean, maybe John Stanton wakes up one morning and says, hey, we should probably put a little more money, invest a little more money into this team that has a chance to win the first World Series in franchise history. That would be nice. That would be admirable. That would be great for all of the fans who have listened to buffoons come onto this program before and suggest that they should just be happy with what they've got. But in reality, I don't see any of those things happening. Bregman's going to be interesting. I'll be curious to see just how big Detroit is in and just how real the company. But he's got a home back in Boston if he wants it. Tucker, I mean, I'll say this. Kyle Tucker's going to get at least 10 years and at least $300 million. And it's just going to be a question of how much does he get bid up from there. Now that the Phillies got Schwarber, I'd be surprised to see them go after Tucker. The Blue Jays, I've said this from the jump, the Blue Jays seem to be the favorite there right now. but I think there are other possibilities as well. And who was the third you mentioned?
Bichette.
Bichette's going to do fine. I don't know if it's going to be in Toronto. I don't know if it's going to be in Boston, but we saw what he did during the World Series this year, and that was not at 100%. And considering just the paucity of bats on the free agent market this offseason, Bichette's going to do okay. Cody Bellinger's going to do fine. The question, like, I'll be very curious to see what happens with Pete Alonso. I don't know where that market's going right now. Seeing how the Mets respond after the best team in their division went out and re-signed the MVP runner-up who hit 56 home runs last season, and the team that's won 2 consecutive World Series went out and signed arguably the best closer from the Mets, it feels like the Mets are going to go on a little bit of a run here. And I don't know if it's via trade or, a big signing like Cody Bellinger, but the Mets are going to have to make some moves because this was not a great day for them.
Well, Jeffrey, thank you for all of this time. So gracious, just as busy as you are, and especially, the tough spot you find yourself in. I mean, the Chiefs are cooked. They're done. I mean, you've had this unbelievable run for all these years, and boy, they're going to have to rebuild and start over. So sorry about that.
We're not having to start over. I don't want to hear that.
Wow.
Start over.
That feels unnecessary.
Andy's done.
Over.
Kelsey.
Jeez.
Andy's done. Kelsey's done.
Wow.
The whole thing's Chris Jones is done. Like, yep, you had a heck of a run.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you breaking some news to me? Andy Reid's done?
No, I'm not breaking any news. I'm not breaking any. It just
Chris Jones is done?
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're done. Kind of feels like
feels
the
that
NFL
way.
just turns over.
It just feels
we
that
felt
way.
this way in 15 and 16 with our beloved Seahawks. Father Time wins. He jumps on the back and he wins. He wins.
I don't disagree with you on that, but I think Brett Beach has done a pretty darn good job of team building to sustain it as long as he has. And I know that when you have a quarterback the caliber of Mahomes, then that helps. But
just enjoy watching the playoffs from the couch. That's all I'm saying. Just enjoy watching
Brock,
the playoffs.
It is very
from the
early
couch.
for that. I would like to distance myself from all of this.
Brock, what crawled up your butt this morning,
Seriously.
man?
Yeah, well, you could. You started this by saying "Shut up, Salk." You can end it by saying "Shut up, Brock" if you want.
Hey, I would gladly shut up, Brock.
Hey, Jeff, seriously, thank you. We really appreciate you giving us the time with everything going on. I hope the last 24 hours or so are active and interesting, and we'll talk to you at some point down the road. Appreciate you, man. Seriously.
Look forward to it, boys, and to everyone listening. An early happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
You too, Jeffrey. There you go. There's
Thank you,
Jeff Passan, one of our absolute favorites, and seriously, that's really, really nice of him to spend that kind of time with us today.
Big game hunting.
Marte. Brock, I think he and I see that one very similarly.
Game hunting.
Did you feel like he and I saw that one pretty similarly?
Uh-huh.
Same idea on the 20 mil. It's not even 20 mil. Schwarber's getting 30. Yeah, I think he'd be just fine. Pay Tell Marte that money. All right, we got to go. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with DJ, maybe. I don't know. Joel
DJ's
Klatt tomorrow.
Thursday, Klatt's tomorrow.
Okay,
DJ's
with
Thursday.
other possibilities as well. We'll see where it all goes. Come join us starting at 6 a.m. Until then, the hay
is in the barn.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks.
You have the
now
right
is
to
the
take your
time to
vehicle
set a
to any repair
strategy for
facility, not just where
2026.
your insurance
It's a good
company tells you to
opportunity
go.
to lock in those
Accurate Auto
gains
Body
and
has been
invest into a
family-owned and
stable
operated
platform
since 1994,
with $8 trillion
and they
in
work
cash
for you.
sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's TEKLINE. Line. Roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Sports Snapshot.
Breaking news minutes ago from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Colts are